This episode is brought to you by Naked Fig Soap. Shop over a dozen handcrafted artisan soaps locally sourced and made in Arizona using the finest non-toxic intentional ingredients. Naked Fig Soap also offers facial care products along with accessories like soap dishes, soap saver bags, and more.
Visit their website at nakedfigsoap.com and use code DRUMMINGUP, all one word, for 20% off online orders. And that is the best place to find her now.
Yes.
She doesn't really have a storefront so much as she
As
has
of right now.
Yeah, as of right now,
Yes.
she has her products in certain locations,
Yes.
which again is the best place to find her is at her nakedfigsoap.com website
Yes.
or her socials. Instagram is a great spot to find her. Ask her any questions where she's going to be at like a farmer's market.
Yes.
You can find all that out. Or
But coming up, she's
Yeah.
moving to bigger and better opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. And we're very happy to hear that because,
Yes.
we just want to make
She's one
sure
of our
she's doing
favorite,
okay.
favorite companies.
Oh, yeah. Whenever we're getting low, we always place our order.
Yes.
And again, use that code drumming up,
Yes.
all one word, to get that 20% off discount.
For sure.
nakedfigsoap.com. It'll be in the show notes. We'll have her website. And then the best thing to do is from the website, go find her socials, follow her. That helps her. And by you doing that, it helps us because we know you're listening. We know you're buying her great products. She also offers tattoo care and everything too.
Yes,
so
she does.
just a ton of stuff that she does. It's all locally made and everything. So what was that website again?
That is nakedfigsoap.com.
Using code drumming
Drumming
up,
Up.
all one word, for 20% off at checkout.
Hi there, this is Julian of Gorad, and you are listening to Drumming Up Conversation. Hell yeah.
Drumming up conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, drumming up conversation. Drumming up, drumming up, drumming up conversation. Drumming up, drumming up, drumming up conversation. Drumming up, drumming up, drumming up conversation. Yeah!
Hello and welcome to Drumming Up Conversation. I'm Justin Wood.
I'm Andrea Wood.
And Mark Kirlin.
Mark Kirlin. So we have a guest in the studio today. We're doing a little bit of an Arizona episode. And, we figured that'd be a fun conversation with you to just talk about that and everything. We'll do a couple topics and then we'll kind of start asking you some questions afterward. But feel free to chime in anytime too, and we're going
Sure.
over what we did.
Yeah,
'cause
excellent.
there's something that stands out to you want to talk about. And just, let us know. So,
All right.
Did you want to get started?
I can.
Okay.
After I just tucked my paper under the microphone,
It's all good.
I'll move it.
This is live.
There's some very intricate typed up notes.
Yeah.
You guys spent a lot of time preparing for these.
That's one thing we've found that we kind of enjoy with the
Mhm.
podcast is the research. It's like being back in school but liking it.
Right.
Yeah.
I know exactly what that
Because
is.
we're picking the topic.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm reading things that may have been assigned in school and I would not have wanted to read them, but I'm enjoying it now because it's my choice.
Yeah. I get
Yeah.
that.
So I have the Sonoran Desert is one of the most biologically diverse of the 4 U.S. deserts. It covers 12,000, or I'm sorry, not 12,000, covers 12 miles, covers 120,000 square miles of southern Arizona, southeastern California, and the Mexican states of Baja and Sonora. We have mountains, rivers, canyons, we have habitat, we have plants, we have trees that are just all indigenous to Arizona. We have over 2,000 native plants, 60 mammals, 100 reptiles, and 350 birds that call the desert home. And they not only survive in the desert, but they thrive in the desert. As long as the habitats stay intact, which lately our pristine desert habitat is shrinking.
Yeah. Why is that?
And that is because of all the building
Mm.
and they're taking away farmland, they're taking away mountainsides, things like
People
that.
are coming here from other states
I know.
like Oregon and Washington.
In California, I
Fascinating.
know.
All of them.
Let's see. And it says as more and more people move to the desert to enjoy the warm climate, the natural beauty that attracted them, it's become paved over, torn up, and polluted. Important riparian areas are altered and destroyed, and our water is definitely scarcer than ever, which I thought they put a moratorium on building, but it does not look like it.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I thought you couldn't build like there's like a lower limit number that if you build more than this, and it might be as small as like 6, if you build more than 6 houses, then you have to show there's like 100 years worth of water.
Yeah, you have to do some.
And I may be
Yeah.
way off on that
No, I
number.
think that's correct. But a lot of the large corporations, I thought there was moratoriums on like 120,000 permits right now, but it does not seem like it. And I don't know what they're going to start building something here back behind us. We don't know
Oh.
if it's going to be apartments, houses, or retail. And then right down the street at the stoplight at Village and Hunt,
Mhm.
where the little lake is, they're going to build right behind that. There's going to be a Dutch Brothers there. There's going to be a daycare there. There's going to be a bunch of stuff there.
I hate chain anything.
We're getting Winco over at Gary and Hunt Highway.
Mm.
And actually it's going to turn into like a Queen Creek marketplace. So it's going to be a Santan marketplace.
Oh, wow.
We're getting everything out there. We're getting a shoe outlet, a bunch of like beauty supply places. I think we're getting a Target, maybe. A bunch of stuff is coming
Right.
out there.
Good and bad. It's like you said, the one reason, a big reason we picked moving to Queen Creek is because I call it sub-rural. It's kind of like it's not quite suburban, it's not quite rural, it's right on the edge. But just in the last 3.5 years, it has grown so much, which is it's kind of nice, but it's still growing. And I worry that in 15, 20 years, it's just going to be suburban.
We're just going to be a suburb of Phoenix.
Well, we kind of are,
Well-
but like because we've been here 11 years now, and it's crazy.
Oh, I
like,
can imagine.
what's grown. And like the other day, I had to go get emissions. Then I did it on Thursday, right? Yeah, and because if I had done it yesterday, I'd have gotten a lot done in that morning yesterday. So, but when I went to do that, it took me 20 minutes to get from here to Combs in Ironwood. 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It took me 20 minutes to get from there to the emissions place. So that's how long. Yeah. It's like, oh my God, there's just so much traffic and so
Yeah.
much going on. And it's like, this is just ridiculous.
Ellsworth is one of the worst
Ellsworth?
roads in, I'd say the East Valley. It's one of the worst roads in the East Valley.
It is.
It seems that way to me anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely, at least in our area.
Mm-hmm.
Another one, power can get like that sometimes. I mean, Arizona Avenue is always a disaster.
Right.
But
It's
as
just
far as-
going too fast for the infrastructure.
and we weren't prepared for it out here. Even in this area, that should be 3 lanes on each side instead of 2.
Right.
That's,
Which again is going to take up more habitat, like you were talking about.
Yep.
yeah.
And we're also home to Biosphere 2. We haven't been out there yet. Have you been out
I
there?
didn't buy it
Haven't, no.
Yeah.
Buy
It's-
it, not there.
out in Oracle or whatever.
Yeah. And it was originally aimed to replicate the Earth's ecosystem in a self-sustaining environment. And now it's just an educational facility. Yeah, I put a biodome reference in there, but I left it out. You saw it? Weasels.
Inside joke. I have no idea. what you're talking
Biodome?
about.
Pauly Shore.
movie.
Oh, no.
And it was where they went into like a biodome, a biosphere.
They
type
like
thing.
kind of broke in or
Yeah, they
snuck
broke
in
in
or
and
whatever.
got stuck in there, and they ruined the ecosystem, and then they had to rebuild it.
No, I haven't seen that.
It-
Okay.
A stupid
It's a
movie.
stupid
It's a
movie.
stupid
It's-
Pauly Shore
but-
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
So some of the plants and trees that are native to the Sonoran Desert are creosote, which we like creosote soap. It smells so good. Prickly pear cactus, which also makes a really good vodka. Hohokam century plant, which is a form of agave. Cholla, Oregon pipe cactus, saguaro, barrel
well,
cactus.
did you want to expand on the cholla cactus?
Which are jumping cactus.
hmm
Yeah, you get too close.
I was victimized by one of the first trips I came to
Yeah.
Arizona.
I've never gotten.
Did you see it start shaking?
No, I
Oh.
don't recall that. I just recall my dad was living in Tucson in 2005 and 6. Came to visit him and we went to the it's some kind of outdoor museum. I can't remember what it's called in the Tucson area. And he was going to take a picture of my wife and I backed up near a cactus. And when I tried to pull away, it's like, oh crap, it's all over. It was, and so hard to take off.
Yeah, you have to use pliers and stuff.
A warm bath,
A
right?
warm. I
Yeah.
did a warm bath when I got one.
No, it didn't get me that bad.
I was hiking with my dad when I was like 10 maybe, and one just jumped, got me right in the calf.
Oh,
And
wow.
we got in the car, drove home, and I had to get in a bath so it would actually come out because you can't just grab it because it hurts the person grabbing it, and yeah,
Right,
it's
right.
tricky.
I've had to pull needles from animals
Mhm.
at the shelter
Oh, I
before.
bet.
Yeah. Which one time we had a little pug that was just covered with them, the whole holes.
Oh, no.
And that poor little dog just sat just so still and so nice for me to pull all of them out.
Wow.
Yeah.
We had one when I was working in the vet many, like 20 years ago, and it came in and it looked like a porcupine,
Mhm.
and we called him Cactus Jack.
Awesome. We also have Arizona cotton top, which is a form of grass, cane beard grass, curly mesquite grass, deer grass, Arizona cypress, yucca, cat claw acacia.
Which yucca is toxic until you cook it.
Yes,
We learned.
Yep.
So be careful if you ever get one of those in the produce section.
the yucca root.
Not your root,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay.
that
Yep.
same vein. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not cooked properly, it is poisonous.
Hmm.
We have emery oak, we have ponderosa pine, we have alligator juniper, which I could smell the last time we were in Flagstaff. Remember, I told you there's juniper nearby. It smelled so good. We have Arizona grapes, of course. We have Palo Verde and mesquite trees, which wreak havoc on anybody that has allergies when those bloom. Some of the reptiles that we have are western shovelnose, ringneck snakes, sand snakes, milk snakes, Sonoran mountain king snake,
Badass looking.
Sonoran coral snakes, Arizona black rattlesnakes, the Mojave rattlesnake, which is the most dangerous and more toxic venom than the diamondback, actually. We have twin spotted rattlesnakes, black-tailed rattlesnakes, speckled rattlesnakes, rock rattlesnakes, sidewinder, tiger rattlesnakes,
Sidewinders will jump at you.
Yeah.
Mm.
western diamondbacks, and prairie rattlesnakes. We have the most amount of
That's a lot of different kinds of
rattlesnake.
rattlesnakes.
We're the Australia of
Yeah.
America.
Right.
Anything in our backyard will
Right.
kill you.
Right.
Yeah. And then we have Sonoran collared lizards, Gila monsters, chuckwallas, desert iguanas, and western skinks, which those are really, really cool.
Mhm.
A Western what?
Skink.
Skinks are so cool.
They look like they have two heads and stuff.
Oh, no way. Interesting.
Kind of, they're snake-like, but they're reptiles.
Uh-huh.
They're like snake-like with legs.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
really,
interesting.
really cool. We have spiny softshell turtles, common snapping turtles, which I thought was weird that we have snapping turtles here because they're more known for water. But,
Yeah.
but they're in riverbeds and everything.
Yeah.
We have painted turtles and desert tortoises. Some of the mammals that we have are peccaries, javelinas, and little bitty prairie dogs. I love prairie dogs. American black bears, pronghorn deer, cougars, desert cottontail, bobcats, bighorn sheep, the elusive jaguar that are really prevalent in the Tucson
south,
area.
right?
Yeah, yeah. And we have the Mexican wolf, which is really cool too. And some of the birds are burrowing owls, which they get into the barrel cactus.
Number 3 is the state bird.
Yep. And we also have Cooper's hawks, which there's a restaurant named after that.
Mhm.
And we have cactus wren, cardinal, quail, roadrunner, meat, mourning doves, and we have more hummingbird species than anywhere else in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. That's my take.
That's your
from the
take?
Sonoran Desert.
Okay, cool.
I saw something this morning, a bird I've never seen before. I actually took video of it. It's a yellow bird. It's so yellow, I thought maybe somebody's canary escaped at first. And I looked it up, and I think it's a yellow warbler, which, from what I read this morning, is here between March and October generally.
Okay.
And it's just going back and forth between two acacia trees that we have in the backyard. It's been there all morning, up until the time I left to come here, and I'm hoping it's trying to build a nest.
Yeah.
Right.
There was another one with it, maybe the male or the female. I don't know which
You
one's
have little birdie.
more colorful. But yeah, beautiful bird.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the Phoenix area, didn't someone breed parrots at one time and then they let them all go? And so there's an area that's
I think that's happened with
infested
llamas out
parrot.
here too.
Hmm.
And that wasn't like a llama on
There's
the loose a couple years ago or something.
there's uh wild donkeys in certain parts of
Yeah.
the state.
Bunch of
would be-
jackasses.
Yeah, which would be fun
And wild mustangs.
Yes. Oh, yes. And there's been a few times on Hunt Highway between Arizona Farms and Magic Ranch where they're crossing early in the mornings when I
Oh,
go to work.
wow.
Oh, one morning there was a truck that was on the side of the road had just hit one. The truck was
Oh,
totaled.
man.
The horse was there. The sheriffs were out
Oh,
there.
that
Yeah.
sucks.
And they kick up so much dust that you can't see until they're running right in front of you.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's 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 interesting and it's sad at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so hyper aware driving through there.
I wouldn't guess it'd be that close to the roads and
Yeah.
Oh, I see
civilization.
coyotes all the time around
Coyotes,
Stand
sure,
Pan
yeah.
Boulevard. I saw one, I think one morning it was carrying a cat.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
wouldn't doubt that.
it was on this side of the street, and then it looked up and saw me and scurried across, and it had something in its mouth. It's like, oh man,
Don't let your cats out.
Well, just past Magic Ranch and Anthem, the highway starts to curve by the fire department, and to the south there's um, a cow ranch.
a cattle ranch.
Cattle ranch there. And one morning, a coyote ran right in front of me with a leg in its mouth. And a leg.
Cow leg?
I don't know. It was a leg, though. I'm hoping it was a cow leg.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine how many coyotes it would take to take down a
Right.
cow and chew off a leg.
I'd
Could
say
be.
probably 3 or 4, probably. I mean, cows can't really fight back. They're kind of
Right.
horses, you know. They
Coyotes
kick
are
around
not
and
that
stuff.
big.
But no, they're not.
What's that? Coyote?
Coyotes,
Yeah.
yeah, not like wolves and stuff. But
Cows can kick and stamp.
yeah, I don't know. So
Don't know, but that's what I saw.
Yeah. Saw what you saw.
Yeah.
Could be.
so that's all yours.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Mine is the world's oldest rodeo. And I'll give the credit where credit is due with my research on it. It was called A History of the Prescott Rodeo by Jim Anderson and Danny Freeman. And it was updated as recently as 2023. So it started on July 4th of 1888, America. And that's what it is. The pro rodeo birthday is July 4th, which is cool. It was formed in Prescott as a cowboy tournament for cash prizes. Juan Levis was the inaugural winner and was featured in the Arizona Journal Minor. And it became planned, promoted, and carried out by a committee of local merchants. And now the rodeo has grown into a multi-million-dollar enterprise with more than 700 pro rodeos in all 50 states.
Wow.
Rodeo is as old as cattle. It was raised by Spanish vaquero, but it was American made what it is today. And of all the sports, whether you're the viewer or participant, the rodeo is most directly related to the natural world, meaning that, on any days any of us are doing rodeo work, essentially, even
Right.
like yard work and stuff like that can be considered, like, whereas you're not like, souping up NASCAR cars or, throwing footballs
Right.
around and you're not tackling people just
Right.
out in the street throwing them a football and it's
Right,
getting
right.
their, throwing fastballs past people and,
Definitely
so
people.
to put it in that perspective. And gave cowboys and ranchers a place to showcase their talent. Arenas were made of just like a large stretch of, fields and stuff like that. It wasn't really like it is now where it's a whole arena and it's right in the middle of it and stuff like that. And they just roped stuff off to keep the Broncos from escaping in case, they want to just run off. So most purses early on were less than $1,000, which is still quite
That's
a bit
a
for
lot
that
in
time.
1888.
Yeah. And the name Prescott Frontier Days, a Yavapai County Fair Committee came into being in 1913, and the year the July 4th celebration began at its present location. Participation by Tom Mix And Will Rogers increased the awareness and popularity. And rodeo is Spanish for to round up and wasn't used until 1916. It was first used in Prescott in 1924. And the rodeo has never missed a year since 1888.
Wow.
I wonder if Tom Mix was headed home from the rodeo when he died.
I was thinking about that too. I couldn't find anything to talk about that.
I know that name. Why do I know that
Out
name?
on Highway 79 going towards
Oracle and Tucson and
yeah,
all that stuff.
Tucson.
He has a memorial right
yeah.
there. Have you taken that road?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
You should. It's a fun drive.
So he was in a Mercedes coupe or something small.
Yeah.
And he had a metal suitcase in the back seat. He ran off the road and overcorrected, and the metal suitcase went forward and hit him in the head and killed him.
What is he famous for?
He's
like a Western actor.
Okay.
He worked
okay.
with Wyatt Earp actually before
I
Wyatt.
didn't think he was famous for having his head crunked by a metal suitcase in an accident.
No, yeah, he was one of the last ones to work with Wyatt Earp before he died.
Okay.
So,
Because at the end of Tombstone, the last line is, "And Tom Mix cried."
wept.
Wept.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he worked with,
That's why I know the name.
Yeah.
Not how he died.
yeah.
I didn't know
But
that.
yeah, he died just 50 miles from here, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe. I might be overshooting it. Not far.
Seatbelt your suitcases in, especially if they're metal.
Put it in
Put them in the trunk.
in the trunk.
Yep.
A week-long celebration marking 50 years of Prescott Rodeo was held in 1937, and several locals participated in the gala event, and many former rodeo contestants helped put on festivities that also attracted thousands of Arizonans from around the state.
Not
And-
Arizonians.
No, do not say that. We'll know you're from another place. In the early 40s, a group of locals called the 2030 Club decided to lend a hand to help produce Prescott's rodeo. In those days, problems of a financial nature were pressing on the producers of the rodeo, so much that there was talk of postponing and canceling it entirely, but they didn't. The 2030 Club, composed of young men from 20 to 30 years of age, was led by local historian Lester Ruffner. These men decided to promote the working cowboy concept of rodeo, and any professional cowboy was banned from 1941 to 1946. World War II took many men and contestants from the rodeo ranks during this period, but with the help of local ranchers and volunteers, the show went on. And so during the late 40s and 50s, the rodeo grew as a spectator and contestant sport continually for a period of many years. Purses grew to compete with rodeos in the West that sprung up to compete with Prescott's crowds, and the purses grew to astronomical sums for those days, often exceeding $20,000.
Oh,
Man.
in the
40s and 50s,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Oh, yeah. You could probably buy a house for 5,000 or less back
Yeah,
then.
yeah. The 60s saw the transition of rodeo production change hands until 1968 when the Prescott JCs took control. The JCs made many changes, perhaps the most important being to hire a stock contractor named Harry Vold in 1972. Vold continues to furnish some of the best stock available today to Prescott's Frontier Days Rodeo, attracting top cowboys to compete on top stock. The same year, the Hollywood movie Junior, Junior Bonner with Steve McQueen was filmed around the actual rodeo. I know, and paraded and thrust the Prescott Rodeo into the national and worldwide spotlight.
Huh.
So Steve McQueen was a big part of that. So,
Interesting.
the Prescott Frontier Days is still the thing. A nonprofit corporation was organized and conducted its first 4th of July celebration in 1979. The Prescott JCs folded in 79 due to internal problems, but Prescott Frontier Days kept the rodeo going. In 1984, several of the rodeo committee members signed notes on their own houses to guarantee the of the world's oldest rodeo. So that's a lot to put up. It has continued ever since, with the main event being the world's oldest rodeo. This name was approved and registered by the U.S. Patent Office in 1985 based upon 5 separate criteria to which it qualified. So it is the world's oldest organized rodeo, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Considering that's like IndyCar of America, essentially.
Right.
People travel from all over the place to go
Yeah.
and compete. And in July of 2008, the Prescott Frontier Days Incorporated Committee was inducted into the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame in Colorado Springs, Colorado, as one of only 16 rodeos ever to have this honor bestowed upon them. In 2021, after the retirement of J.C. Trujillo, the board hired Jim Dewey Brown as the new general manager. And Jim was actually a competitor in professional rodeos in high school and in college. And he won the Saddle Bronc riding title in 1999 and again in 2003. And he's just been leading it ever since. There's been a huge increase in tickets, arenas, and pens and shoots and all that stuff. It's, from people all across the Prescott area put it all together still, so it's very communal
Mm-hmm.
with all that, which is really cool. Have you been to any?
We went to Prescott last year on July 4th. I think
Oh,
we got
cool.
there on July 3rd,
Okay.
and we never saw the rodeo,
Uh-huh.
but we saw the parade and saw the town. That was the first time we'd been there. That is a really neat town.
It's
It
a
is.
beautiful town, and it seems like there's a lot of community spirit there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, my impression of it was it reminded me of growing up in Little Laramie, Wyoming in the 80s. Like it had that era, that same feel from the era too. It's a very it's a neat town in that it's preserving, it felt like it's preserving a part of America that's hard to find.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And of course, a lot of that is it's just a small town.
Yeah, north and south, some places south too, or luckily aren't as populated as here is. And I mean, that's
Where you still
makes
have
it
like
great.
really super friendly people that take the time to talk to you. Because we went into the ice cream shop there in Prescott
Mhm.
and didn't even buy anything. No, we did buy coffee. We
Mhm.
bought coffee,
Mhm.
but we had a 45-minute conversation with the owner
Mm.
just because
Oh yeah, that was fun.
wanted to know who we were, where we were from, what we were all about, and then
Was
he
that-
told us like the whole landscape of Prescott.
Was he the one that told us about Big Nose Kate's
Yes,
grave?
he told us where to
You know
go.
who that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
she's buried up there. So it
Oh.
was like, oh, hey, if you, we were talking Tombstone for some reason at some point.
Right.
And he's like, well, Big Nose Kate retired or spent the rest of her days here, and she's actually buried just like 2 minutes from here. I was like, oh,
and
shut it.
showed us the retirement home there.
Yeah.
There's a Arizona Founders Retirement Home. It's a big, big place up on the
She
mountain.
helped start it, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you're a native of 50 years or more, you can retire there. And they make it very affordable and they take care of everything.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that.
Me neither.
Well, not with that attitude.
It's very unlikely. I'd be over 100 before I'd qualify.
Was it of Arizona or Prescott?
Arizona.
Arizona. Oh,
That's why
I'm close.
it was called Arizona Founders.
I'm close. I'm
Yeah.
6 years away. So
Okay. Wow.
all right. All right. So we'll get started with you. First thing I had, because you brought it up as well, what research did you do before deciding to move out here?
I did a lot.
Mm.
For 3 years straight before I moved here, I was researching Arizona every single day,
Wow.
mostly places to live. I was looking at Tucson area and the Phoenix area, one of those two, not outside of that. But I spent quite a bit of time just looking at the communities and where would work best for my wife and I to live, cost-wise, culture-wise, kinds of neighborhoods. So my mom and my brother moved to Tucson around 2019. So I'd been down here, and like I said earlier, I can't remember if we're recording yet. Yeah, we were. My dad lived in Tucson for 2 years in 2005 and 6, so visited a couple times. And honestly, before I really started looking at this, I didn't want to live in the desert. I actually did not like, I liked Tucson kind of visiting my dad, but like so many people, I'm sure you've heard it and you probably experienced it. If you come here from somewhere that is more humid, it feels really dry. It, always get bloody noses and my mouth just feel dry at night. It takes a week or two, at least a week, maybe 2 weeks to acclimate to it. But, over time, going to visit my mom in Tucson, I started liking it more and more. And a big part of it was really getting tired of Oregon, especially the Portland area for a number of reasons. But I'll just focus on the climate reason to remain neutral. The weather there is just awful, and everything's subjective,
Yeah.
Some people love the clouds and the rain, but man, 8 months out of the year,
Really?
8 months out of the year,
Wow.
it is cloudy. It's changed though. It has changed. Mays are starting to be nicer. It started maybe 5 years ago, and Octobers are still kind of okay. But most of the time when I lived there, from 93 until 2021, it was cloudy and rainy from September until June, through June, and it gets depressing. So did a lot of research, mostly real estate videos, but along with that, some information about Arizona. There's a guy, not to give you competition, but there's a guy who has a channel called Living in Arizona. I think it's Living in Arizona. There's another one, Arizona Living, that you probably know all of these.
Yeah.
But they travel around the different parts of Arizona. And so I had some idea of what I was getting into, what we were getting into.
Was there any other place that you considered moving to other than Arizona?
Do you need more?
Texas.
Texas?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Austin, Texas specifically.
Uh-huh.
And only because we had gone there for 1 week back in, I don't know, maybe 2015. And it reminded me a little bit of Portland, but quite different. But my wife did not want to live in Texas,
No?
only because it is further away from Japan than here. So this is a little closer. It's a shorter flight.
Gotcha.
And we didn't have any family there. That was part of it too.
How long does it take to fly from here to Japan?
There's no direct flights from Phoenix, so you have to go to San Diego, Los Angeles, or San Francisco. Those are the closest airports. And, it's maybe an hour, hour and a half flight, and then there's a layover. And then from any of those places, it's another 10 and a half, 11-hour flight.
Justin's parents are in Australia right
Australia.
now.
Oh, okay.
Australia right now.
That's why you mentioned Australia earlier.
15-hour flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From here? Is it direct?
She made it sound like it was direct. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a long flight. That's a very long time to be stuck in an airplane, stuck in a small seat. I could maybe do it if it was business class. I mean, I could do it. I don't want to do it,
Right.
Yeah.
but I also don't want to spend that kind of money.
Yeah. So when we spoke to her on Wednesday, it was already, we spoke to her at like 6 o'clock Wednesday night, and it was already May 1st at like 7 o'clock there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Big time difference.
So like 12 hours ahead of us, give or take,
Right,
something like that. Yeah. What surprised you about the most about your research?
It's hard to say the research surprised me. And it would be hard for me to remember if I was ever surprised because I did
You
so much.
mentioned the water thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. I was most surprised to find that there's actually a lot of water
That was
in
my
aquifers.
take too.
But
The first time we ever came to Arizona, I was like, I can't believe there's so much water here.
right.
Yeah.
It's well hidden.
Mhm.
It's not obvious, that's for sure.
No, it's on purpose.
But yeah, that surprised me. And that was one of the things that I was concerned about before moving here is there going to be enough water? What if we buy a house and now there's no water? A house is going to be worth nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously a huge investment.
Mhm.
But doing the research, that allayed all my fears. And like we were talking about earlier, it seems like the planning is pretty responsible. It seems that way, but there's always things that we don't know
For
about.
sure.
Yeah. And what intrigued you the most?
A totally different culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like the landscape's completely different. It's a completely different life here. It's a completely different lifestyle. The weather, the desert, and I would say the culture. You mentioned going to Prescott. People are really nice and friendly, and everything's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
And compared to the metro area, the small towns, people are going to be nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to the Portland metro area, which is much smaller than the Phoenix metro area, people here are a lot more friendly.
Mhm.
And you guys came from California. You
Mostly
noticed
her,
that.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, people are more friendly. People are very likely to start a conversation like in the grocery store, and have longer conversations. And I think part of that is, I think, the sunshine. People are generally happier because of the sunshine. And most people have the same thing in common, which is they came from somewhere else. And then there's odd exceptions like you. It's so rare to find an Arizona native.
When I go places or when we travel places too, a lot of times I'll say, "Hey, we're not leaving. I was born and raised out here," and that sometimes makes like people that own businesses and small businesses and stuff talk to us more too. Because it's like we're not just in there just because we're in there as tourists. We're in there
Right.
because we're
There was
checking stuff out and enjoying it.
that we got a discount because you were an Arizona native. Where
Hmm.
was that?
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
Must have been somebody else who's an Arizona native.
It was one of the touristy places, and when they found out he was born and raised here, we got a discount.
Hmm.
I can't remember where we were at.
I don't know. Yeah, because that's been the tough part for me is seeing all this happen. And
Oh, sure.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I remember when I could just go anywhere in 10 minutes.
Right.
So-
I know it's very hypocritical of me having moved here from somewhere else just 3.5 years ago, but I really like it when the snowbirds leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
It just
obvious.
sucks that it's in like when we're not doing stuff outdoors either.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's like, it'd be nice in December to go to downtown Scottsdale and enjoy it or downtown Chandler and enjoy it, but there's
Right.
no fucking way I'm parking anywhere.
It's hard to park there. Yeah,
Luckily, you can pretty much walk anywhere because it's 50, 60
Definitely.
degrees, but I still don't want to.
right.
I always talk about like there should be something where if you can prove you're an Arizona native, you can tell a tourist to move out of their spot and take it. Because
Yeah.
I'll be here in the middle of July and you won't. So
Probably
guess
wouldn't
what?
be good for the businesses.
Now with COVID, a lot more people actually just stayed
I think
because
so.
then they realized that the summers aren't too bad because
Right,
everybody
Yeah.
has AC.
right.
Because for
They're not
years,
bad at
for
all.
years we were telling them how terrible it was, so they'd leave.
Right.
And when they were forced to stay here,
Well, you were
first
like-
thing went through my mind is like, oh shit.
No,
The
everybody,
cat's out of the bag now.
yeah. Everyone has their own taste, their own preferences. I don't mind the summers at all. And the way
I don't either.
I experience it is when it's really hot outside, 105 plus, 110. It feels really good for about a minute just to be outside, walking across the
Yeah,
parking lot.
yeah.
I'm not playing out in my backyard or anything like that when it's that hot.
He's got the parachute thing attached to him and he's just
Yeah,
running
right.
sprints.
Right. But it feels really good for about a minute, and then it's uncomfortable, and then you walk into the AC and that feels so good. But then after a while you get a little bit chilly and you walk back out into the parking lot. Oh man, that feels good. So I'm constantly feeling good.
Yes, I like just being out in the heat.
Mark just stands by his back door all day and he just he gets cold, he opens it, goes outside and closes it, and he's like, all right, I can go back.
I will go outside in the middle of the summer just to get that blast of heat and sunshine.
Well, isn't that where you ran into the rattlesnake a year or two ago? Was that in the summer?
It was probably in maybe August or September.
We still
Yeah,
consider that hot summer out here.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, we didn't do any hiking in July and August.
Because I remember seeing that video. I was like, oof, yep, welcome to Arizona.
Yeah.
You didn't
but-
want to be a statistic on the evening news.
No.
Meanwhile, on Camelback Mountain,
Yeah.
The worst thing is when people
Take
bring their
for the
dogs.
kid.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Dogs is the worst because dog won't tell you when it's thirsty or dehydrated. A kid
Right.
will.
Right. Hopefully so.
Yeah, hopefully so. But yeah, that's
That happens every year.
Camelback Mountain.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. I remember a story last year. Maybe a 7-year-old boy was hiking. Somehow, maybe he was 12. Anyway, a little boy. I can't remember where they were visiting from, but they're staying in one of the resorts downtown, and somehow he was hiking by himself. And he shouldn't have been at that age.
Yeah,
anyway.
that sounds responsible.
Yeah. Tragic for
I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
Where you moved from, was that surrounded by mountains or is it more foresty?
Or both.
Both.
Both?
It's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's trees everywhere, which on one hand is really beautiful, all the green,
Mhm.
but after moving here and enjoying a wide open view,
Mhm.
it just feels free. It feels free to be able to look around and see for many, many, many miles, as
least-
far as you
yeah.
can see.
At
To
least
the
for
horizon.
now, until more stuff's
We
built. But
do
yeah.
have a pretty landscape at night.
Oh man,
Because
God, when the sun sets.
we don't
Yeah.
realize how much the elevation is different, because when we come out of the development and hit highway, you can see everything. You can see Queen Creek, you can see Apache
You see
Junction,
Phoenix.
Chandler, and everything.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, but it doesn't look like there's such a big elevation difference.
Because that was what you were surprised with, how many mountains were out here.
Mhm.
Like, especially when we did that one episode where we talked about different things, and I brought up that Arizona has the most mountain peaks of over 10,000.
In the
Right.
United States.
Yeah, in the United States.
Yeah, that's
which-
crazy.
Yeah. But then you start driving out on Lake Thompson, you look around, it's just mountains
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Superstition, right
Right.
there looking out at everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they're beautiful too.
And you can see snow on them.
Right.
We have mountain islands here. That when I was doing some research, where there'll be a big mountain and then valleys in between mountains, so it's not like a mountain range. So we have mountain islands.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the biggest differences psychologically is because there are so many trees and they're really tall trees. I feel claustrophobic now. When I go back, you just
Oh,
feel
really?
like it's like skyscrapers all around you, except they're natural, so they're more beautiful. And in the house that we lived at before we moved here, we planted arborvitaes in the back for privacy. And between those and the neighbors' trees and the natural trees, even when the sun did come out, there's like this small area. If we look straight up,
It's
we
just more
see the
peeking
sun.
peeking at you than anything.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
I get that.
But the summers were beautiful.
Mhm,
You know, the
mhm.
summers are nice. They're very temperate. They're not too hot.
Yeah. Being a retired police officer, were there any Arizona laws that stuck out to you as well, or like
Yeah.
stuff like that?
Just the fact that, and I didn't learn this until I'd been here a couple of years. Anybody can carry a concealed firearm. That blew my mind. I know you could open carry. You can open
Right.
carry in Oregon too. You can't carry concealed without a permit though.
In Oregon, you can.
You can, but people don't. It's a different culture. It's not I shouldn't say that. There's the Portland culture, which goes up and down I-5, Salem and Eugene. And then there's Middle and Eastern Oregon, which is more similar in culture to around here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like all the I-5 cities, they have their own culture.
Yeah. Okay.
Not saying good or bad, it's just different.
You can say one way or the other. I mean, I personally, I've always liked that law since I was a kid. Like, just we have the lowest gun crime rate in the country, I believe. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly it's a deterrent if you are thinking I'm going to stick somebody up and rob them,
There's
whether
probably
you
five
actually have a
people in
gun
here
or
that could, and they
right,
know how to
or maybe
use
the
it.
person I'm sticking up might be armed.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes a difference.
It does. Yeah. Oh.
You know, think about where the mass shootings occur. They occur where most people don't have guns. Schools. There's no guns in schools until they started having school resource officers.
Yeah.
I know in California at one time I tried to get a permit and I had a really good reason for it. And you had to write a letter to the sheriff, and he was the one that determined whether you can have it or not. And I was denied. And it was
Oh, wow.
for personal protection. And I worked under the sheriff's department and I was denied.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So in California,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
lot
super
And I
harder.
told her, I'm
strict,
like, you can get a concealer's license on a Saturday out here. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can get one pretty easily in Oregon
that's
as long as you're not.
surprising.
You could go.
Well, you got to jump through the hoops,
Yeah.
but they're not going to deny you just because you don't have a good reason.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, here you can go to a motorcycle class in the morning, get your motorcycle license, then go to a gun class in the afternoon, and get your gun license.
Oh, that quick?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess you can. You can there too. I went through a 3-day class. You didn't have to go through it, but I did.
I think that the one out here especially is mostly for like learning how to take care of your gun, how to take
And
it apart, put it
That is
together,
so
cleaning it.
important. I
Yeah.
think that
Right.
anybody that carries one should know that.
Sure. I agree on that too. And I don't want to get too much in the rabbit hole of gun and stuff.
Right.
No, that's a
I'm
deep topic
yeah, but
and controversial.
there's a reason it was the second one they wrote down, and I'm going to stand by that. But as long as I think just everyone that everyone's is an individual, and it should be
Mhm.
treated that way.
Hmm.
If you're have I don't care if you've been committing crimes and stuff. I think that if you've been to a hospital for specific mental health situations, or you've done harm to a family member for no reason, all stuff like that, that should go in as much account as being a criminal.
Mhm.
Because
Oh,
that can
I
say that
agree.
you're unstable to carry it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I agree.
and but that's just kind of where I'll stand on that. And I think that everyone that does have one absolutely should learn how to use it. And
And
I
learn the
like
laws.
I like the places that you can buy guns out here that they'll be like, if you could take it in, be like, hey, I just want to learn more about the gun I have, and they'll be like, absolutely, here, let's,
Mhm.
and I love that about out here too. Everyone's like, yeah, I'll teach you how to use it. I'll teach you how to
Right.
take it
Clean
apart
it.
and clean it,
Right.
and the proper way to handle it, and have
Right.
security for it, and
I went to a
store it.
coffee shop. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, what is it called?
guns or coffee and
A-
ammunition or something like that.
Americano Ammunition and Coffee.
That's it. Yeah,
That's
okay.
what it is.
Yeah.
They actually have ammo there.
Yeah,
And they actually sell it. They've
yeah.
got a
You
lot.
can get it in the drive-through.
All right. That is
like a
very interesting.
iced mocha and a case of 38, if I
Mhm.
can, please.
Which we went there before, and the coffee was good, but they're hit and miss of when they're open for coffee.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we went. The last time we went was a Saturday at 9, and we're like, "Oh, cool." And it did say they were closed or anything, and then
Right.
we were at the drive-through window, and no one was coming up, and we looked it up, like, "Oh, we're on our food truck out in Mesa." I'm like, "You have a brick and mortar, and no one's running it right now." I'm like,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
I can't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
you're
Like,
gonna lose
I need
customers.
my coffee on a
You
Saturday
lose
morning.
repeat customers doing that.
Yeah.
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 So we're like, okay, that doesn't make sense. You have a brick and mortar, but yet you're out in a
Right.
food truck.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me at
Yeah.
all. So
I've been there 3 times, twice by myself, once with my wife.
Mm.
And there's I'm sure you know a pupusa place right
Yes.
next
Yes.
door.
Tried it.
Yes.
Is it good?
Yes, it is
Yes.
good and very cheap. I couldn't
Okay.
believe it.
Yeah, we want to try it sometime.
The only downside of both those places is the atmosphere is not great.
Really?
It's in a parking lot.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Like
in
a
a
dirt-
dusty
yeah.
parking lot
Yeah.
Right,
and close to a busy road.
I'd say, and all you're seeing is the big tin cotton gin
Yes,
behind
and the
you
big,
as well.
it's kind of cool, but it's also not.
It's not the most
It's-
aesthetically
It's not the
pleasing.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll go again just because it's unique.
Have you been to any events at the Cotton Gin?
No,
Oh, we have. It's nice.
It's fun,
It's different.
I think there was a gun show. Maybe
They
it
do
just
those like once
happened,
a
or-
month, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all the
We
time.
went to a craft fair there.
It was a craft fair antique thing,
Yeah.
kind of one and the same.
That's
It was
huge.
cool.
hmm
Yeah. Then I think they had some food outside when you went outside and stuff. It was pretty
Right.
cool.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to plug the Santan Cafe because I told them I was going on a podcast. I'm going to mention them.
sure. Yeah.
Never been there before. It's someplace that I wanted to go to. My wife and I love to go to breakfast or
That's
brunch.
the one at Santan Boulevard and Sossaman, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
yep.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Great atmosphere.
Yeah.
The
Just
food was great.
old fashioned diner type. The
Big amount,
service
big
was amazing.
portions.
Huge portions, very good prices, incredible service. Obviously a mom and pop shop, which I like.
Yes, yeah.
I like the family run individual businesses as opposed to
Right.
the
Same.
big businesses.
And I don't think my coffee was ever empty.
No.
Oh, they were so good about that. Yes.
I remember that specifically because that's a big deal to me. It's like I don't
it's
two,
huge.
I don't want to sit there and it's getting cold. And another, I don't want it to be empty for more than like 30 seconds. Like honestly, like
Oh, and
I want my
agree.
coffee coming in the morning.
Yeah.
I need it. So
And
yeah.
I'm not going to name this business, but it was in Lake Havasu.
Okay.
Went there with our friends and had breakfast. I ordered a coffee. It got filled up when I first got it,
Mhm.
and nobody filled it. Nobody, no waitress, waiter, no busboy would even make eye contact. They were understaffed. You could tell they were understaffed,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't even make eye contact. And I was a waiter for a number
Yeah.
of years. And if you make eye contact
You have to
and
go.
somebody wants something, you better take care of it, even if you're really, really busy.
Yeah.
But that was not
At
good
this
service.
point, just fill up one of the things and leave it at the table.
But Santan Cafe, amazing
Yeah,
service.
cool.
Amazing food.
Well, and we'll give
Great
you
prices.
some of our new business cards to
Oh, yeah,
take
sure.
to them too, so they can check out the podcast.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
shoot,
I'll
we'd
do
love
that.
to have them on. We could have it at their location.
Oh,
So
I bet they'd love that.
that'd be
Yeah, they
awesome.
seemed pretty excited.
Because
when I-
we're all about local business. We're
Mhm.
actually gonna
Yeah.
have our soap person, Madeline,
Oh, right.
in your seat tomorrow
Oh, right
morning.
on.
So yeah, so we love that. So we're the same as you. So, what places do you like to visit as far as just local businesses?
That's pretty easy.
Okay.
And fortunately, some of my favorite places are within 10 to 15 minutes of where you live, because we live really close.
Really close. A little
Um,
further than we used to.
I
but
know this isn't your favorite place, but I love the Olive Mill. To go there, get coffee, sit outside. It's beautiful outside. There's so much seating there. You're never in want for a place to sit
They
that's
do
beautiful.
have a nice grove there to sit in.
Mine's
Yeah.
personal than
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Right.
Just the way I was
I
fired.
understand. Right. It has nothing to do with the place or the
No.
atmosphere.
We had problems with coffee there. We never had problems
Although
with food
I did
there.
like the old coffee place better than the new one.
Yeah.
Right.
Superstition was
Over infusion. Right.
yeah, all day.
Yeah,
every day.
totally different owners and about the same drinks, kind of the same drinks, but
Mm.
I only get coffee or a latte anyway.
Schnepp
But-
Farms is fun.
Yeah, Snap Farms is nice. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was a great when our grandkids came and visited last, when was it? They were here during Christmas. We didn't go then, but they came here last May and we went there. Yeah, it was a great
Mhm.
place to bring family for sure. I love the Olive Mill. Love Santan Flat. Great place for food. And again, a really
we've-
unique atmosphere.
Yeah, we've only been there for drinks, so
Amazing food.
yeah.
Their steaks are so good
Okay.
and good price too.
Speaking of which, if you take that road there, Tom Mix's or the memorial and all
Yeah.
that, there's a steakhouse called the Cadillac.
Oh my goodness.
Look it up. One of the best burgers I've ever had in my life.
Oh wow.
And steak.
It's
too.
right, yeah, it's right off the beaten path.
It
Okay.
looks like a warehouse. It looks like a farm shop.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And there's not a lot of advertisement.
start writing these down. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. It's between Florence and Saddlebrook.
Hmm.
And it's just kind of off the beaten path.
It's a fun drive anyway, and then you just stop there and get some
Right.
food, and service was great, and
Right.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Have you been to Tortilla Flat?
Yes.
Okay. Have
Yep.
you eaten down there?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
that's good too. That's a
Yeah. Listen to some free live music as you can in Santan Flat too.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
called Black
That's a neat
Chaparral.
place.
Cadillac Chaparral. Yeah,
It's
write
so
that down.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
It'd be
it's just a big metal shop.
Oh, that looks cool.
And there's room for dancing out there, and
I'd say like a weekday you just want to go for a drive, you and the wife, and just want to get some food, just take that drive. It's a fun drive. I'd say stop to the memorial. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool to just see it. And
Okay.
Justin
Yeah.
had a burger. The kid and I both had steaks. The kid and I had drinks, and it was like $56 for the three of us for everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
And the
amazing.
steak was good. You could cut it with a fork. It was so tender. It was so good. Yeah.
That's good steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a fun experience.
Yeah.
So, it's a fun drive. So where have you visited since you've been here? That stands out.
That's another thing we love about here because we've experienced.
Well, because
what
you can go to
Northwest has
Oregon
to
and
offer.
Flagstaff. You know?
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Actually,
Like-
Flagstaff is very much like Central Oregon.
Mhm.
Ponderosa pines everywhere. Although actually, Flagstaff has more trees than classic Central Oregon.
I can imagine.
You didn't mention it, but I learned this, and you probably know this. Arizona has the biggest ponderosa pine forest in the country.
Wow.
I didn't know that. And they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, we've been to Sedona a lot. At least once a year, we go to Sedona for a couple nights. Flagstaff passing through,
Have you been to Williams?
through but not stay.
Oh,
So
you've got to
fun
go visit
stuff.
there.
Just-
You can do it in a day or a half a day.
You
Right.
just walk.
Okay.
It's so fun.
Okay.
Winslow is fun, but I would plan on doing the crater on the same day
Okay.
Mhm.
if you
All
haven't
right.
done that yet. That's really cool.
You have to go
That's
down on
amazing.
Winslow, Arizona.
Yeah.
All right. Of
But
course.
that's about all there is to do there.
That's all
Right.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to Arizona?
No.
Oh, you have to do that.
I've never heard of it. Arizona.
Oh, it's a drive-through wildlife park. So you
Oh.
can drive through as many times as you want.
And then
And
at the
then
end, when you if you want to get out, it's like this. It's like a zoo at that
Walk
point.
through
You
the
walk
zoo.
through the zoo, and there's food
they
and
have drink
drinks.
parts out there. You can get a drink, walk around the zoo.
I imagine there's bears.
Yes. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. Not one.
There's no bear.
Not a single bear.
I mean,
Different spelling. It's actually a nude colony.
walk-
B-A-R-E. Nice. Like how quick you were on that.
Bears,
Hey!
This is not, kids, hide your eyes. This isn't what we thought it was.
yeah, while you're driving through, moose will come up to your car.
Wolves.
Oh, wow.
Timberwolves. Yeah.
Wolves are out there.
Where is this?
It's just
Williams.
outside of Williams, right outside.
Okay.
So like
Wow.
20 minutes north of Flagstaff.
That sounds really cool.
So fun.
Have you done the 89A?
Yes,
Okay. How gorgeous is that?
it's beautiful. That's one that goes like by the, what do they call them? The painted
The-
mountains or something like
when
that.
It goes, you drive down like the mountain,
Canyon.
and then you get into like where the forest is, and it
Through the
just
Navajo
drops
Indian
you right.
Reservation.
Yeah, it drops
Yes,
you right to
yes.
Sedona.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the only way we go. Like
We found that by accident coming from Portland back here. So there's several ways to come back home here.
So so where the house is in Flagstaff, it's like a minute to actually jump onto that. So it's
Oh, wow.
we're like right there,
We found there's a spectacular coffee shop out there.
and a
Mm.
great
There's a
place for
great
burgers.
burger place out there.
Mm.
And in the same parking lot, they have like a,
Native American jewelry, like
a setup
farmers
out there,
market kind of thing set up. It's like a whole bunch of different booths of different jewelry and all
Yeah.
that. So
which is beautiful but expensive.
yeah,
Right.
but
There's
it's
hotels out there. There's a couple of upscale restaurants out there, but the AJ's in the Canyon is great for a burger.
yeah.
Yeah, the Navajo culture here is really interesting. It's just a very, very different culture from anywhere else in the U.S. And it's a great place to visit anywhere else in the Southwest. We went to Santa Fe, just last year. Went to Santa Fe last year. That is a really neat town. It's not too far. I think it was 7.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah, because you could hit from here, you could hit the New Mexico border in like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, and from Flagstaff, you just head to Albuquerque and get there pretty quick too.
Yeah. Yep.
So to
Yeah,
take
we went
the
right
40 to
by
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque,
Yeah.
You mentioned Lake Havasu. We have not been out there. Have you ever been?
I hate that drive.
How-
No,
It's
not
not
a
a
fan.
good
It's
drive.
not. It's not worth it in my opinion. I'd rather go to Canyon Lake than Lake Havasu.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we go
It's
there 'cause
closer.
my-
And it's just
one
I
of
don't
my coworkers and his wife retired there like 2 years after we retired here. It's a different town. It's a party town. I'd say
Yeah.
it's a party town. It's very much a tourist town. I was blown away by how big that lake is, though.
Wow.
It's huge.
It's like Tahoe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be bigger. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Yeah.
It just seems huge.
Yeah.
We rented a pontoon boat
Well, you know what's there,
last
right?
summer. The London Bridge. Yeah. Yep. That's crazy, man.
So all those times we heard about London Bridge singing London Bridge is falling
Right.
down, it was
That's
Lake
it.
Havasu.
That's it. Yeah. What's the chainsaw manufacturer? They do more than chainsaws. It's not steel.
We should know this from Jackal.
Shoot, man, it's a really, really big name, but he's the guy that purchased and had sent over the London
probably
Bridge. His family.
Came across that in your research because she almost did that instead of the Sonoran
Oh,
desert
yeah.
thing. So yeah,
Think about chainsaws.
it'll come to me.
Yeah.
I was just there.
Have you been to Cave Creek?
Through it, past it on the way north.
We want to go out there. There's a vampire themed brewery.
Oh, interesting.
Bone
Is
House.
that Fountain Hills?
Oh, Fountain Hills. I'm sorry, Fountain
I was
Hills.
like,
Okay,
Have you been to Fountain Hills?
through it.
Okay. That's where we want to go.
Fountain Hills, that's a very richy part of.
And it's not
The
that far
city,
up the
right?
road. You just
Yeah.
go up Ironwood. Was it
I
Ironwood?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a casino out there. I think there's a military install out there.
Probably.
Yeah.
Were there, so when you've traveled places and you've gone to visit them, were there activities that you did there that stuck out to you, or is there something that you haven't done yet that you found out about you want to go try?
Yeah, some of the things that you mentioned for sure. I haven't been to the Grand Canyon yet
Okay.
in
I
my
haven't
life.
either.
It's the only place you can spit a mile.
You haven't either. It's been a whole mile
They-
down.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
kid took her friends from California there last year.
Hmm.
She's been there. I haven't been there.
The only place in the country that still delivers mail by mule.
Yep.
Wow. It's probably pretty fast.
The shit I'm remembering from those Arizona episodes we've already done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because that's the only way they can get the mail. Because there is a whole community down at the bottom of the
Right.
Grand Canyon. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So every day they deliver mail by mule.
Wow.
And now they have that glass walk out there.
My and he
Oh,
doesn't care if
yeah.
I mention
I know
this
what
or
you're
not.
talking about.
My buddy Brian, his mom actually lost her life in the Grand
In a
Canyon.
black flood.
So if you ever see the deaths in the
Oh.
Grand Canyon books, she'll actually be
Oh, wow.
listed. Yeah.
He was hiking on the bottom and
Yeah,
flash
flash
Oh,
flood.
wow.
Seen again.
Yeah.
And that's awful. I didn't. I just thought of something else that I definitely want to see that's related to the flash flood.
Okay.
That was bad timing.
You're good.
Maybe you could edit that out.
He
That's awful.
he has a great sense of humor. He taught me dark humor. So he's fine. So
Havasupai Falls
Mm.
and going through. I can't remember the name of the cave. Apache Cave. Maybe it's
Is
Apache Cave.
that the one that you need a permit to get
Yeah,
to?
yeah. You need to be maybe escorted, but at least a
Mhm.
permit.
Is that where
Definitely
the
wanna do that.
127 hours or whatever happened?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
maybe.
I think it was. Where they
Possible.
stuck in the cave or whatever.
Yeah,
and
I
had to-
don't know.
Yeah.
But that looks beautiful. And I think that's
Uh-huh.
close to something they call the Wave Cave or something like that.
Mhm.
Sounds right. Yeah.
And what Karchner Caverns has the restaurant? in the
Yeah.
cavern?
And then there's the Grand Canyon Caverns that has the hotel.
You can
Hmm.
stay in the rocks.
Yeah, we got some crazy shit out here.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
I'm still learning about, and I've been here for forever.
We went
Yeah.
on a whole jag of ghost adventures in Arizona last night. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
Have you
that
been to
was
Globe?
interesting.
Globe is fun.
I don't think so.
The drive is beautiful up the
Is it?
60. Yeah, beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have. I've gone that direction, but I don't think I've gone that far.
If there's ever a time you're like, we want to go somewhere not too far, but far enough where it's worth
Ask
it,
you.
let us
Yeah.
know.
There's a
We'll-
great coffee shop in
Yeah.
Globe. Great.
Yeah.
No,
Amazing.
I love coffee.
Yeah.
We went to a diner in not Superior. Where was that diner at that we went to? It wasn't Globe. It was past Globe. Payson?
Yeah. Pacing.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had the last Radio Shack too, I think.
Yes.
We actually went to a Radio Shack there.
Oh, wow.
I was like, thank you for coming in.
The last Radio Shack?
I
The last
don't
in
know.
America?
I don't know. Because the last I heard, they all went out of business.
Right,
So I'm
yeah.
like, we walked into one. I'm like, this says Radio Shack.
The cashier was very excited that we were there. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I would rather go to a Radio Shack than some giant store.
Love
I love
Radio
Radio
Shack.
Shack. Heck yeah.
It's kind of like I'd much rather go to Trader Joe's than Costco.
Yes.
It's just too big. I'd rather go to an
Depending on
Ace
what you
Hardware
need. Yeah.
than Home Depot or
Yeah.
Lowe's.
Ace Hardwares are always fun too.
Mhm.
Love hardware stores.
Yeah.
Weird. Like Harbor Freight. We haven't ever gone to
Oh,
one
Harbor
on
Freight. Yeah.
Ocotillo, but I love Harbor Freight.
I don't think I've ever been to one.
Yes, we went
What's-
to one in Atascadero.
No, here.
Oh, not here.
What's the other place that just opened on like Power? It's like a hardware kind of store.
That's an Ace Hardware.
No. It sells a bunch like dog food and
Yeah, that's an Ace.
oh, I thought it was something.
By Bashas?
No, it's over by the Safeway.
On Power? By
Yeah.
Safeway?
I don't know. Okay.
Is it a truck and tractor supply
Wait.
store?
That actually is well, it used to be an Ace Hardware. It's something else now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That store is fun.
Okay. Anyway, is there
Distracted by tools. I love tool stores.
is there anywhere you want to visit other than maybe the Grand Canyon that you mentioned that you're like, we need to do that sometime?
And the cave, the Apache Cave in Havasupai Falls.
Like you could even be south.
Have you
that I
been
haven't gone
Kingman?
to.
Like-
Been through Kingman.
Okay.
Now, I've been through a lot of places.
Have you been to Snow Globe?
No. Okay. We want to go to the Sholo Mountains.
Oh, okay.
and Solo and that whole area.
Pine
We haven't,
Top's
yeah, we
gorgeous.
haven't explored that
Yeah.
at all.
We haven't been out there either.
Snowflake, where Travis Walton
You
was
wanna go
abducted.
Oh, really? So he says. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't.
He and his friends have stuck to the same
Yeah.
story.
And even ones that
for
did not
years.
like him were like, no, it happened. Like,
Right.
I don't even like the guy. It happened. Like, we saw it happen. So that's,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And yeah, I believe it until, innocent to
Yeah.
proven guilty, right?
Oh,
So,
for
but
sure. Yeah.
mean-
I've not done any research on it.
You
so
disappear in
my
a small
opinion means
town for
nothing.
5 days and no one can find you, then you just reappear. That's a red flag.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like
Right.
When you're not known.
very small town.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like population of like 100. That you go missing for 5 days and reappear, they're gonna start asking questions.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Have
those
you
are
seen
fun.
anything weird out here?
Or do you believe in any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm very open-minded.
Cool.
Yeah, but it turns out it wasn't weird.
Hmm.
So I saw and I filmed it and I put it on Instagram one night, what looked like a comet flying across the sky at
Mhm.
night. First, I thought maybe that's a comet. And then I thought, or it could be a missile or an alien spaceship. What the hell is that thing? It was
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
And it freaked me out a little bit. And then I did a little bit of research and found out it was one of Elon Musk's rockets.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
launching some satellites.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah,
that,
so
yeah.
that was weird. A couple rattlesnakes. Only two. I've only seen two, which surprised me. My brother and my mom, who live in Tucson, see them all the time. My brother's had them on his front porch and in his backyard, on the street all the time. They
I was-
javelinas and coyotes and
Yeah, I always
everything.
encourage people get a king snake and keep it on your property.
I've heard that. I've heard
Yeah.
that not just from you, but
I told her that too after she told me about.
I knew that.
Well, yeah,
Another
but
one.
like if I had known you then, I said get a king snake
Yeah.
and just make it your pet and just keep because
Right.
it'll kill those suckers.
right.
So
Now, at work once, we heard our director screaming because she was out in a play yard and there was a scorpion out there that was about this big.
Oh, that's huge.
Bright green.
Oh,
It's like a
interesting.
fluorescent green. It's
so
very interesting.
I've never heard of that.
what
But we have found some black ones out in the kennels that are about that
Yeah, that's
big.
big too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what are the misconceptions of the animals out here that you've been told that I can, kind of tell you if they're true or not? Because a scorpion does not matter the size. It will give you the same amount of venom and as killer as it can be,
And if you
whether
go
large
to-
or small.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And if you go to like one of the urgent cares, they're just going to say, take a Benadryl.
Yeah.
Right.
I know from experience.
Rattlesnake, yes.
You've been stung?
Yeah.
A
What
small.
was it like? Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
I got it in my hand. I think it happened around here somewhere. And so it made my pinky swell and to where it felt like it was going to break open.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just your pinky. So it like followed a
Yeah,
nerve
just
line,
went
maybe?
all the way up. And I went to the ER over here at Gary and Empire. And they're like, yeah, we'll give you some Benadryl. And they
Compare
were
that to a bee sting.
way worse.
Way worse.
But they made me feel stupid though because they were like, "We'll give you some Benadryl." I'm like, "Well, I would have just done that at work."
Right.
That's
But,
a
yeah.
$5,000 Benadryl, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But when we first moved
Well,
here,
rattlesnake, yes, the babies will inflict more venom because they don't have
They
to
can't
control. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Heard that.
and but when we first moved here, we had a scorpion on the wall, and Justin's mom said they move slow. They do not move slow.
Mhm.
They are fast as hell.
Have you taken a black light to your backyard yet?
No,
You don't want to, right?
I don't want to, and here's why.
Because you'd rather not know what's.
I don't think we have any. I really don't. We don't have any bugs around our house.
Because you have scorpions.
I don't know. When we first
he's gonna
moved
go out there
in-
and it's just they're on top of each other.
I was just realizing this actually yesterday or 2 days ago. We had Scorpion King exterminators. Very good. Local family owned business.
Go for it.
We've
Yeah,
had them
absolutely.
coming in every other month. And when they first started coming, I noticed all these bugs like coming out of the cracks dying.
Mhm,
Like a lot of cockroaches and other various, maybe tiny spiders.
mhm.
I haven't noticed any. They spray, there's nothing there. There's no bugs left.
That's good.
I've never seen a scorpion.
No.
Except one time I've seen a scorpion, and it was outside of First American Title in Chandler when we went there to sign our papers to buy our house. It was a dead one on the side. That's the only scorpion I've seen. But my brother and my mom have had them in the house,
Yeah.
outside the house,
Right.
all over. And I just don't think we have any. And no, I don't want to know.
They-
I'd rather think that we don't have any.
We never did either. Cause I'm like, they're gonna be out there, and I don't want to
And now
find.
that we have the palm tree out here, we're like, oh, great, they're attracted to palm trees.
Oh yeah, those
I've
are
heard that
scorpion
too.
nests.
That's
Yeah,
what I was told.
Diatomaceous earth will tear them up from the inside out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
just put it like it.
Yeah.
All your door entries and stuff.
Right.
The kid
Garage.
just had one in her garage last week.
No, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get the ones out here that climb the walls.
Yeah, the
Yep.
bark scorpion.
Most of them don't. Yeah.
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 Before I moved here, I'll tell you, I was so paranoid.
Yeah.
That was like my number one. I wasn't worried about the rattlesnakes. They're probably not going to come into town. You can see them. They're
They'll
definitely
let
not
you know
gonna-
they're there.
Yeah, they're not going to be in your house.
And I'll tell you this too, most rattlesnake bites are dry bites
Mm,
because they know they can't digest you.
okay.
So they're not going to
They're
waste
just
it on
trying to
something they can't digest. They're
warn
just
you
going to
off.
like get the hell away from me.
Right.
They
Interesting.
say that 95% of the bites that hospitals see are dry bites.
Oh,
which is
interesting.
good.
Yeah, that is good.
That-
But we're talking about adult rattlesnakes. The babies,
Right,
they will
right.
just
They
because
can't
they
help
can't
it.
control it. But that's typically what'll happen. But yeah, they'll let you know they're there. Scorpions, very quiet.
Right.
The first time we encountered a scorpion when we moved here, I thought, oh my God, we're going to die. The dogs are going to die. And then we called his mom. We're like, there's a scorpion on the wall. She's like, okay, so kill it. They're slow. And so I hit it with a book and it was not slow. But one morning I woke up and came through the living room and they're like the same color as our tile. But I saw one on the floor and it looked dead. So I was like, oh, I'll go get some paper towels and pick it up. I picked it up and it started moving.
Oh,
I
crap.
Screamed and threw that down. Yeah, but so
Oh.
now it's like, okay, if there's a scorpion, I'll kill it.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Just take your flip flop.
I still wouldn't want
No,
to
the
stuff.
first time I encountered a haboob, I drove home so fast and I ran in the house. Remember, I'm like, there's a haboob coming. There's a haboob coming. And you and Josh and Kiefer looked out the window and like, oh, that's a haboob.
Right. Yeah,
I was so afraid.
they
I was-
didn't freak me out at all.
I was on the phone with my daughter coming home from work. I'm like, I'm trying to outrun it. I hope I outrun it. I'm just afraid I'm gonna die in this.
I like two haboob because then it's a pair of haboobs.
I dealt with
The
fog-
big old
Let's
look at
bring
those
about Arizona
big
with
old
the giant
haboobs.
boobs.
I dealt with fog in California. It was really bad to where they'd close schools and everything. But
God,
driving through,
Californians are pansies.
driving through a wall of dust is scary. It really is when you can't see the hood of your own car.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
bad. Time to pull over.
And I've done that before on the way home from work because I'm out in the middle of nowhere, so they really get bad out there. And I pulled over once before, and Justin's like, "Just keep driving." I'm like, "I can't see the hood of the car." He's like, "So what? Just keep driving."
Yeah,
I'm
well,
like, I
push it out.
can't see anything.
He can't see
And
anything.
it made me
Maybe,
feel like I
maybe
was a
you
big
shouldn't be
sissy.
driving. I'm on Andrea's side here.
She made it home safe. She have to sit there for 3 hours. So
And there was one rainstorm, if you remember, I had to pull over into the Safeway parking lot
yeah,
because I could not drive anymore.
Yeah,
when we
with that
first moved
hard
here,
road.
like everywhere out here was
It's flooded.
flooded.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we're like, because I don't think you were out here when Thompson went nowhere, heading north.
No.
It was a long left turn lane that went nowhere. We're like, I hope they never build down there because all it's going to do is flood. And then they
Right.
built down there. Like,
And it
Oh
closed.
yeah, some
we
of
get
the
a bad.
those houses over there
Yeah.
off of Hunt Highway are a good, 2 feet lower than Hunt Highway. I would not want to live in those new developments
Mm-mm.
because the big floods will come back around.
Right.
Yeah, like every 10, 15 years, we'll get a nasty rainstorm.
So having lived here most of your life.
Yeah.
There was a period of time here in California. Have you noticed in your life, like you just mentioned, periods like now we're kind of in a dry period and then it'll be a wet period for a while? And is this normal or is this an extra long dry
No,
period?
this is normal. I mean, I was out here when we hit the 125-degree day.
That was like what, 2019 or something?
It was well, the one I remember was 93.
Oh, that's
But when we moved out here that summer it got like 125 on the patio.
Yeah, and then we had a nasty winter.
Mhm.
I remember there's one of these, it was 2019 or 2020. It was so hot the planes couldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then there was that one year, remember where we
Bryce
were
didn't too far from the microphone.
remember we were hitting like 20 degrees for lows down right here.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Oh, and then that one
We
year,
were the coldest state in the country for like a month.
and
that's crazy.
Flagstaff had the most snow of anywhere in the United States that year too.
That's
Oh,
another
wow.
thing with our Arizona research that we found out that Arizona can be the coldest and warmest
In the same day.
in the same day than anywhere in the
I
country.
believe that.
Because there's been times Flagstaff gets like, or Pine Top and all that gets like -20.
Right,
So we're going,
And we can be like 85.
right.
and we're going to Flagstaff tomorrow, and it's going to snow tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're so excited.
It's gonna snow up.
Monday,
So,
Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
It is gonna be significantly colder tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think it's like high as 70 something instead of
70.
90 today.
So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is supposed to snow.
Oh wow, you're gonna see snow
We're so
tomorrow.
And
It's only what, 2.5 hours, 3 hours from here?
isn't that great about here?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's another thing that I love about here. You don't like it because it's 110
Drive
degrees.
2 hours north.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you want to drive a little further, you can go to San Diego and see the ocean.
What's crazy to me too is we are almost Flagstaff is almost twice as high as Denver.
What
Yeah.
is
Of
it
course, the
like?
Flagstaff's like 9,000 feet.
Oh, sure.
But
The city itself is what, like 7,300 or
75 to
something?
8.
75. Yeah.
I think the
Tori, it's 90.
95.
5, yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
And
that's high.
yeah, like the Walmart right by where our house is like 8,200 feet above sea level. Like,
Yeah.
take
Oh,
that,
well,
Denver.
So when we
Yeah.
Ooh, mile high. What do we
Right,
do?
yeah.
when we went a couple weeks ago for the Jackal concert, we don't know if this kid was related to any of the band members, but he was their roadie.
Oh, no.
This kid was maybe 22-ish. He was the
Yeah.
roadie, and he did a really good job with all the technical issues and everything that they encountered. And Justin, after the show, told him, "Hey, man, you did a really great job." He's like, "This air's killing me."
It's like this elevation is killing me.
Yeah,
He was in really good shape.
that's pretty high if you're like down where we're at. What are we, like 1,400 feet in the Queen Creek area, maybe 1,000 in other
South
parts?
gets pretty high too. South gets
Have you been
48 to
there
5,000.
in Flagstaff?
No,
Yeah, you get up
It's-
there and it's a walk
Mm.
once you start walking around out there. And then up in that elevation, you have a really good bottle of wine. It hits you like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where to drink wine.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
So Lowell Observatory is the one that discovered Pluto.
Oh really?
Yeah, up in Flagstaff.
Oh wow. So that's an old observatory then.
So I don't know how much you are into like the aliens and stuff like that, but you know the encounters, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth.
Yeah.
So J. Allen Hynek was the one that made the classes of alien
Okay.
encounters and stuff, and he was a big part of the little observatory, and he was also big on the Close Encounters of the Third Kind movie and stuff. He helped with that. He's actually in it.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so he was a big part of that as well. And so we're like, we need to do it. It's fun. It's really cool. It's when you go into like, especially the large observatory where that was the only time we really waited in line. It was
So
really cool.
and you look through the telescope?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
the tour. They have an outdoor patio that has like 7 or 8 stations, and you go from
They're
station to
different like
station.
stars and planets and stuff
And
like
then
that.
you
yeah.
have to wait in line to go to the big telescope, and then you get like a minute to look in that telescope.
But it's really
cool.
That would
But
be
what's
awesome.
cool too is that like we have these things like on our phones. Mine especially. I love the camera on my phone. It'll
the nighttime setting.
make a nighttime setting, and it just shows. And up there,
It shows so many
you can look
stars.
down upon the whole Flagstaff city and town, and it's worth it. And then you go to Denny's after.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
Have you
cool.
been to
One of the few times we'll go to the like chain places.
Yeah.
Right.
because
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
open.
Every now and then. Can't be avoided. I've
Yeah.
never been to the crater.
Oh,
No.
that is amazing.
That's really cool.
And
Just the perspectives
and
Right.
and the impact of what happened.
Right.
and be prepared for a lot of wind. For whatever reason, it's really windy out there.
Mm.
My suggestion would be to do what we did. Go to Winslow,
Mm-hmm.
do the Eagles tour, standing on
Yeah.
the corner of Winslow, Arizona,
Right.
and then go to the crater on the way back.
Okay.
It's
There's a specific rock out there that you look at it and you're like, okay, it's a rock.
about this big.
Yeah. You get on that telescope, that thing is
It's
huge.
the
That thing
size
is
of a 2-story house.
so
And
Oh, wow.
It is,
that
and it's
crater is so
weird.
deep.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's amazing.
it's really.
Yeah, that sounds cool to see.
It was. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff to do out here.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so.
And everybody jokes because they have the tourist center out there and everything. It's like, oh, the crater just barely missed the tourist center or the meteor, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd be amiss if I didn't plug Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Sure. Yeah.
I'd heard of it before I moved here, but there's no brick and mortar in Oregon.
No,
Okay.
No, there's only a few, I think, in the whole U.S.
we went to the one out in Queen Creek.
Power. No, it was the one on
Ri-
Power.
Yeah, that's the one I went to.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've been to.
It
Okay.
is strong coffee,
It is.
It is
It's
good.
good coffee.
Yeah.
Really good.
and it's all veteran owned.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I
We're
support
big supporting our first responders, veterans, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh,
it. I put a patch from BPD up there. So if you go, you probably won't go there for a while, but if you look at the patch wall, there's a subdued black one that I wore when I was on the mobile response team,
Oh, very
crowd
cool.
control team.
Awesome.
How was that?
It was fun. It's honestly the easiest job that you could possibly
Really?
do.
Okay.
It takes no thinking.
Do you
Is it the most the one you can't prepare for the most though too? If shit hit the fan.
No,
Okay.
I honestly think it's simple.
Okay, because I hear crowd control and I'm like, well, if some people decide to just do something,
Yeah.
there's
Well,
no preparing for it either. So without you getting too much into anything, but
No,
that's kinda where go.
I don't mind. As long as you keep your plan simple and everyone knows what the plan is, and you have leaders that have contingencies, and we did, it's really simple. And if you're one of the guys in the line and you have a stick, you stand there and do nothing, or when you're told, push this crowd 20 yards out or to the next intersection, then that's what you do. It's really simple.
Fair enough.
Now I know out here you can hire off-duty police officers for events.
You can deputize people out here.
Was it like that?
No,
for you?
not at all.
Really? Huh.
No, there's no working in uniform off duty for pay. There's no wearing your uniform off duty,
Yeah.
except in the privacy of your own home. I don't know why you do that, but
For our sheriff's department, you can go on their website and click on officers.
So you
for
can-
hire.
If you can deputize still to this day, deputize people out here, which is really cool. I love that too.
right.
Or like in a small town, especially a sheriff can go, hey man, like I need you to back me up. So here's a badge, you're deputy now.
Yeah,
you
that
know.
that doesn't happen.
So like when that, like in the movie Tombstone, when he deputized Doc Holliday, like that's a
Right.
real thing, and that's
Right.
still a real thing. And
Right.
It's really cool.
It's cool, but I'll be honest, I think it's a bad idea.
Irresponsible.
I do. Yeah. I mean, you're giving power and I assume a gun to somebody who doesn't have any training
Yeah.
and hasn't been evaluated.
Oh,
I
I
think
look
it's
at
a
it as
terrible idea.
it's someone that they know that this person it's not the business they're in, but they know that they
Right.
can trust them. That's the way I look at it.
I don't know.
See?
I don't know.
Because I've been around it and I've seen the people that
Yeah.
that get, like, I've seen people get deputized. I'm like, oh
Right.
yeah, I'd feel comfortable with a gun in that person's hand. Actually, I know them pretty well. So
It's a
But
cool
again,
concept.
I lived out here when
Yeah.
even Maricopa County was a small county.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but
cool concept. I think it's a terrible idea.
Even though
I really do.
overall Maricopa County is one of the smaller counties out here, but yet it's the most population. So
Oh, right. Small and
like Pinal and
geographically.
Pima are bigger than Maricopa. So
No, I didn't know that.
uh,
Pinal, we go Superior, San Manuel, Saddlebrook.
doesn't it go all the way up to like Globe?
No, it's Superior's like the border
Okay.
there.
Oh, Globe's
And then
Gila. That's right.
Marana, Red Rocks, Casa Grande, Eloy, um, Arizona City, Maricopa City,
Yeah,
and
Maricopa is actually in
parts of
Pinal.
Queen Creek.
Think about that.
And parts of Apache
Wow.
Junction.
Yeah.
I want to go back and
Sure.
add to something I said before.
Yeah.
Just in honor of the folks that actually got physically abused and assaulted. Being crowd control was really easy at the times that I did it. You get insulted, whatever. They're just words. But it can be dangerous, and it was very dangerous in the summer of 2020, and I'm sure it has been before, and it will be again. And officers got attacked in horrible ways, Molotov cocktails,
Yeah.
feces, urine,
Yeah. That's
all
what
kinds
I
of
think when
things.
I hear like crowd control.
When
Is
when
like,
I say easy, it's simple. It's not it doesn't take a lot of intellect to do the job, but it's not easy because it is a line of usually single officers, maybe two arms widths apart from each other. Maybe there's people behind you, maybe
like
there's
one
not,
officer to
depending.
50 people essentially, right? Give or take.
Or more, or
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
So when you
so
think
it,
about
it can be
numbers,
intimidating in that way.
yeah.
I hate that police officers do not get the respect they deserve.
Firefighters and police officers
I-
are, in my opinion, are the top echelon because like firefighters, people forget that they're there before the ambulances.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
And police officers are there to like figure out what the hell just happened. Like you can't prepare for either thing.
Right.
A police officer, you're going to a crime scene that you don't know what the hell happened.
Right.
Well, what 90% of the time you have no idea what happened.
Despite what the
You just heard
dispatcher
what
says. Yep.
what was yelled or screamed on a call.
Right.
And same thing with a firefighter is they're going to a crime scene at the same time probably you're arriving to go, what's the best thing I can do to help maybe save this person's life that's
Yeah.
hanging on or keeping this family,
Yeah. What
it's
people I think don't understand regarding the firefighters is they go to accidents, they go to medical calls, and a lot of the time people fight with them. They're affected by drugs, they're mentally ill or whatnot,
Mhm.
or they're going into some kind of seizure due to diabetes, and they can be very violent. And people don't realize that they deal with a lot of violence too.
Yeah. Yeah, they really do. Because I knew a lot of people that were going to firefighter class and school and all that too. Because you have to get essentially like medically trained to be a firefighter
Yeah.
first. They do
Mhm.
that first. Like you can be in the best shape of your life. That doesn't matter. You need to be able to resuscitate someone. You need to
Right.
know how to hook them up to certain devices.
Right.
And, like you said, you're walking into someone that's having
Put
like
on tourniquets, pack wounds.
exactly, on gurneys and
Yep.
hooked up to the right IVs and this and
Mhm.
that. And this can kill them and this can save them and stuff. You have to know all that before you even carry the hoses up them
Right.
stairs, right? So
Yeah.
like that's the shit people don't realize you
Most of
need
the
to
time,
do.
firefighters aren't fighting fires. They're
Yes,
dealing
they're
with
saving
medical
lives.
incidents.
Yep, exactly. They're the first ones to respond to the car accident, stuff
Yep.
like that. And
Like Randy.
Sometimes it's usually the police officers.
well,
that get there
meaning
first.
that
Yeah.
that they're the ones that have the equipment to, if someone's hanging on, they
Right.
have the equipment to keep them hanging
Yeah.
on.
Right.
Whereas you're going to arrive in just a police car that is only
Right.
equipped with so much stuff.
Right.
As far as I know,
Things changed a lot,
have
and
they?
at least
Okay.
at least up there, the
'Cause I remember
officers are very well trained in wound packing and
Yeah.
tourniquets and CPR. Every car has an AED. You'd be shocked. I was actually shocked because I was a detective from 2003, and so I wasn't working the road anymore. And during the time that I was off and working detectives and then in training, that's when officers got trained in all these things, and they're saving lives all the time. They're the ones that get there first, and they're doing the CPR and using the AEDs and um, all kinds of things. There's an incident where a lady was wearing, I don't know if they're headphones or earbuds, whatever. She's listening to some music, walking across the light rail tracks. You have light rail here too. Didn't hear or see it coming, and it hit her and cut off both of her legs. And she was bleeding out. And one of my good friends, I know all of them there, it's not a big department, got there first. And because we'd been trained on using tourniquets, and because every officer carried tourniquets, they were able to save her life.
Oh, that's good to know. Because I
That
remember back
happens
in
a
the day,
lot.
it was just like, they'd have like little packets to like gunshot wounds and stuff like that.
When I
That's-
started, there was nothing.
Yeah.
We learned CPR, but we were actually told, don't do this on anybody.
Yep.
Because
to
this is a
protect
lawsuit
yourself
waiting
and
to
your
happen.
family.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because if
The
it's not,
thinking's completely changed.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, because I remember like that's right out of high school was a lot of my friends were going to do firefighting and police officer. And it's like that's what I was hearing. They're like, yeah, you don't give anyone CPR because if they're breathing and you give them CPR and they die, guess what?
Right.
You're out of a job.
Break
And you're
ribs.
likely to break the ribs
Yep.
or the sternum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's good.
Yeah.
Good
It
Samaritan.
is good.
Thank you for educating me on that too,
Well,
because I had no
I
idea
assume
that-
it's the same down here.
Yeah.
I assume it is.
It is because that's where I was here when that was all going on. Same thing. Like I always remember that, like when like a fire truck would arrive, it's like okay, that's essentially like the same thing as an ambulance,
Right.
you
Yep.
know, because they have all that stuff on board and they have that certain, hospital training.
Any
Right,
time
yeah.
that I've had to call 911, like when my parents had issues before they died, fire department was always first to respond before anybody. Yeah.
Hmm.
I can remember my mom died in 84. And I can remember one afternoon I came home from school and she started having a seizure. And my brother was freaking out. He was running up and down the hall. Oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? I'm like, call 911. Called 911 and the system, the 911 system back then just wasn't functioning properly.
Mhm.
So I ended up calling the fire department and they responded before anybody because yeah, there was a time that you could call 911 and it either didn't ring through or it just rang and rang and rang and rang.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's awful.
in California anyway.
What's worse is having a phone number that if you skip a number, it dials 911.
Oh, and people do that at work all the time.
I had
because
a-
in our
I still remember it.
outgoing lines, you have to press 1.
My high
And then
school
the
phone
nine.
number growing up was 961-1189.
Oh, crap.
My buddy Brian missed the 6 a couple times. 9, so he dialed.
911. Oh, crap.
And the worst thing to do is hang up.
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah, somebody's
it-
coming for sure.
It's a
It
mistake.
depends on.
Yeah.
Phone, tell them this is a mistake.
Is this true? If you do hang up, is there a quicker response?
No,
Okay.
but they're coming. We're
Yeah.
coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I heard that
happens
was always a thing I heard too. Like call and hang up, and they'll be there faster. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but I don't think there's very, very few, if any, cases where even if you say, "Oh no, that was an accident," that somebody isn't coming
Doesn't
to make
show up.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta love the movies getting that wrong all the time, right?
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just heard a noise and da da da.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Right.
Yeah, we
Right.
won't show up. Yeah.
Yeah, because how often does it happen? And it does happen that somebody's been assaulted, usually a woman, and the other half takes the phone in the middle of it, stops the call, stops the 911 call, and then they call back. Is everything okay? Oh yeah, everything's fine. My kid was playing the phone. Oh, okay. No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Officers show up because that
As they
because
should.
that
because you have
scenario
to
happens
learn
all the
from
time.
yeah, you have to learn from past experiences where someone
Yeah.
ends up getting killed because they
Yeah,
didn't
it
come
was
up.
always that way when I started.
that's
from the
like
very
out-
beginning.
That's like out here. I don't know where it is everywhere else, but out here it's that if a domestic call gets placed, that someone, usually the man, gets arrested and taken to jail for the
Usually,
evening.
and that's usually the case that the
Yeah.
male is the aggressor.
Yeah.
Not always, but usually.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how it always was with me growing up. But I remember early on, yeah, they would just be like, "Oh, okay, all right, well, as long as that's the case, then," and they wouldn't show up. So I'm glad that that
Yeah.
has changed over the years without
Yeah.
getting into too much. But yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, do you have any favorite hiking spots?
Um, favorite only because it's okay. My favorite hiking place is anywhere in Sedona. Sedona is absolutely beautiful, but it's also a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
And it can be very crowded sometimes too.
It can be, yeah. The busiest places like Devil's Bridge is very crowded. I did not enjoy that hike.
Slide Rock.
Slide Rock is very crowded, but we went there last summer for the first time. We loved it. It was so much fun. It was so refreshing. It was
How
crowded
did
but
you
fun.
feel? Because I used to go there before you had to pay to go there. So that's how far back I go.
I can't remember if we had to pay parking or not. I don't remember.
You
I
have to
think we
pay to
did.
get into Slide Rock too.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have to when I went. You
Oh,
could just
wow.
go. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
But
I
you
didn't.
had almost like a spiritual
I didn't
experience
know this.
there.
Like, I didn't know the vortex thing
Oh,
and all
right.
that. And I went there and I just stood in the middle of the water and I lost time. I
Oh,
guess is the
wow.
best way to say it. And then to find out later on that like there's this whole like
The whole vortex thing.
something just happens where all this gravitational pull goes to this one area and stuff. I had no
Right.
idea. And I was just like,
Yeah, supposedly there's several of them there. There's one by the airport and one on Buddha Beach, I think it's called. And I didn't realize there's one at Slide Rock. How did I feel? I felt refreshed when I got in the water. That's how I felt. I didn't feel anything weird like that.
yeah. So
But
yeah,
that would be my favorite place to go hiking, anywhere in the Sedona area. But we've done a lot of hiking on the Santan Mountains
Mhm.
because it's
right
5 minutes from here.
Have you done the hike out on Hunt Highway at the little Pyramid Mountain?
No.
Where
Where
did
the
we go?
that was out on Hunt Highway where the
Okay,
pyramid's
okay.
on top. It's
That
like
was fun.
the found
Pyramid.
yeah, there's a grave up there. It's a pyramid. It's a like a rock um like a brick pyramid that's up there. It's the founder of Florence, I think, that's buried up there on top of the mountain. And it's a nice little hike.
Okay.
You just have to park right alongside
I'm the
Hunt
worst
Highway.
person to take on a hike because
Why?
because I'll show off. I'll run up and down shit all day when she gets mad. She's like, "You do the same amount of exercise I do, and then you go and just run up a hill like it's
Oh, okay. I see.
like we went to Crater."
It's the elevation and the hike and everything to go to these places and the crater monument. Our friend Brian had a 5-year-old son at the time, and he was running around out there, and Justin was outrunning this little 5-year-old kid.
I had my
Oh,
like
wow.
military boots on,
It's
and
a stamina.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids never run.
Everybody else was like,
I'm just yeah. I was always that person that like could sit on the couch all summer, and then I go and play safety and football. Like
Oh, wow.
nothing ever happened.
Wow.
Pisses people
You're
off a
built
lot
differently.
of times. Yeah. Yeah. People are like, what the fuck, man? Like, you didn't do anything from like
Right.
June to
How can
August.
you have all this
And
stamina?
September 12th, like we're going out there and we're playing football and you're like picking off passes and running back for touchdowns stuff.
it's from drumming.
I don't know. Yeah, that's true. I that is true.
If you're drumming, you are getting exercise. That's definitely cardio.
Yeah. I wasn't even doing that as much though, too. But I guess once a week even doing that probably will get you in pretty good shape. So
Yeah.
considering
something.
the test we did when we took the
All the pedometers or whatever they
Yeah.
were, and put them on his ankles.
did we
and
ever
his
tell you that?
hands.
No.
Oh. Wow. What was it? 2 hours and I do it to like 10,000.
Oh no, it was way more than 10,000.
Okay.
It was like 24,000.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was like, 2 hours of playing or whatever. It's like, yeah, well, think about these people on tour that do this like nightly. That's
Right.
insane.
That's why you don't see too many fat rock stars.
Especially drummers.
Yeah, drummer.
No, not drummers. Yep.
And
Yeah,
if they
lead
do look
singer,
out of
maybe.
shape, they're not. They do look out of shape, they're more of like the offensive linemen of drummers, or they're
Right.
still in shape. They will still outrun you in a 40
Right.
yard dash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you recently had guests visit and served them local wines and spirits.
Yes.
How did that go?
You know, they didn't say anything like, wow, this is the best wine I've ever had or anything, but you know, they enjoyed it.
Okay. How
Yeah.
about you?
I like the local wine. Oh, here's something that surprised me
Okay.
that Arizona had wine. I had no idea there was
The-
wine in Arizona. I had no idea there was like wine country, like the Sonoyta area.
Mm-hmm.
In
And
Valley,
it's beautiful.
Verde Valley.
Yeah, it's actually beautiful. The grass, flowing grass hills. I had no idea that any of that stuff was here.
And I think, didn't we research that ours is older than the California wine country?
Oh, wow.
Certain vineyards are.
And we
yes.
can do grapes that most other states can't do.
Right, because of
And
the
they're
conditions.
really, really good grapes.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever had like a Montepulciano grape
Mm-mm.
as a wine,
Yeah.
you've had it. You had that death.
Oh, that was okay.
That
Yeah,
was a-
that is good wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the wine here is good.
Yeah. What about the spirits? Because we're drinking.
That one is really good.
Is this one of the best whiskeys you've ever had?
It is.
Put it
Yeah.
on the camera.
I got a
It's on
Copper
video.
City bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
It was
We have that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rye.
Mhm.
Have you had the rye?
The rye is good. I like the
Okay.
rye. I've had the rye.
Okay.
And that bourbon is good.
Have you tried the Peralta?
No.
Did you want to try the Peralta?
Sure.
Okay.
I probably have.
I don't know. This
You may
was
have served
fun
that to
find.
me the first day we met.
No, it probably was
No, it
Copper
was
City.
Copper City.
Do you need more, babe?
That's enough. Thank you.
All right, give that one a try. Yeah, no, this Copper City we're drinking right now, this is a dangerous whiskey because I'm about to pour some more and that is good. So, you sure you don't want more?
Oh,
I'll take some.
this one's got a bite.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
this one's definitely, I guess I'd call it drier.
That's good. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, that is really good.
This is dangerously good.
The one that we bought at Total Wine because they didn't have the rye.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's all right. It's not that, I don't know. Not my favorite.
Well, when we
That
go
was
to,
just plain old, the Copper City bourbon.
yeah.
Yeah.
When we go to Flagstaff, we're gonna try that one up there, and we'll let you know. But we know the
Okay.
gin is amazing.
It is.
We just started drinking gin just like 4 days ago.
Good.
Commerce,
Commerce Gin.
Okay.
Commerce gin.
Okay.
It's locally made. It's made by the same people that do the
The
Copper
one
City.
that we had the other day in Flagstaff was really good too.
That one was dangerous too.
Those drinks were
'Cause-
so good.
Because I taught her, so when we got together, she's like, I'm not really a gin fan. I'm like, you've had it with tonic, haven't you? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, have you ever had it with ginger ale? No.
Mm,
Total difference. Total difference in
that could be
taste.
good.
Sneaky.
We've been
Good.
drinking it with tonics. I haven't drinking it.
Try it
every
with
day.
ginger ale.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Get
Okay.
a good ginger ale. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Get a good low sugar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
low sugar gin, but also the little trick is put lime on it.
Yep.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Perfect
I'll
summer.
just say you're welcome right now.
All right.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Because next thing you know, you're like, was this 8 or 10 of these?
Yeah. No, I believe that. We're enjoying it so much. We bought a bottle like 4 days ago. It's
Okay.
almost gone. We'll get through it today.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to drink any more after this, but I probably will.
Yeah. So Total Wine has it too. Commerce.
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 Okay.
So
It's similar bottle as the Copper City.
it's
Okay.
good enough to drink it straight.
Yes, it is actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's the only gin I've ever
That's
had.
high
straight.
praise. I've never had gin straight. No, yeah, I have. I've had Gordon's gin, which is crap.
Even my dad, my dad's like, I've never liked gin. I'm like, just try it. And he shot it. He's like, I'll take a glass of that.
Hmm.
It's like, huh.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, think about it though. One of our biggest, trees out here, plants out here is juniper.
Right.
So we should be pretty good at gin
Right.
if we have,
Yeah.
an abundance of juniper.
Yeah.
We've never found it, but somewhere in this area there is a tequila manufacturer. It's here in Santan, and we've never found it.
God, that would make sense that there would be tequila around
Mhm.
here. Huh.
There's an agave farm, but we don't know where.
Huh.
It's the elusive.
You must not have a
Tequila
tasting
farm.
room.
No, they don't. No.
Do you remember what wines and spirits you served when your guests were here? Offhand?
I don't.
Okay.
No,
problem.
I don't.
I'm just
But
going off of what I had on
You
here.
know, I
So
feel like it had a name that implied it was from Oregon, but it was made in Arizona.
interesting.
I know, isn't it?
Where were your visitors from?
Portland.
Did they like it out here?
Yeah, the
You tell them just to visit, though.
oh, we would love if they moved here, but they're not going to move
I'm
here.
kidding.
The male half, he actually lived here for a number of years in the 70s and 80s, and he created the U-Haul computer system.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because U-Haul it was
Right,
born
yeah.
here.
It's-
So,
is-
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Still
what
here.
he did while he was
Well,
here.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was born here. Yeah, it's still living here. Yeah.
Yeah, so they like it down here. They're not going to move here, but they like it.
It's good. No, that's too bad. I kid. So, what have you learned from being here am I the only native you know, for one,
That I know and have.
or at least encountered?
No, I've encountered several,
Okay.
but not a lot.
Am I the
They're
only
rare.
white native that you've met?
No,
Okay.
no.
Because I'll tell you the truth, going to school was fun. Because
I'm trying to think if I engage with anybody else on a regular basis who is from here originally, and I don't think so.
Because your dad's not, your mom's not.
yeah, well, I know 3 people in my family that were actually natives here: my brother and my sister and myself. So
And that's wonderful. But I really think, going back to what we were talking about earlier, that one reason it's so easy to have conversations with people is because it's not such a closed community. Whereas in the Northwest, not just Portland, in the Northwest, so many people were born and raised there. If you come from the outside, it's hard to break in.
and that's
People are
kind of how
much
I am
more
with people
closed
from
off.
other places here.
I know you've said it you've been saying it a lot for a long time, but I understand it when
Yeah,
you grow up here and
you're
the way it used to be is no longer that way. And you've talked about this, and I'll say this: the one thing, maybe there's two, but the one thing that I definitely don't like about here isn't the traffic. It's not the traffic. I think we've got a tremendous highway system. It's incredible compared to other metro areas.
Sure.
But the drivers suck.
Yep.
They're terrible.
They don't
There's so
understand
much
how to keep up with
tailgating.
traffic. Well, they don't
Well-
understand how to keep up with traffic either. Yesterday when we were driving, there was like 2 of the 3 lanes on Ellsworth. There was like a 10-car gap between the person here and the
That's
person in front of them.
frustrating
It's like
too.
that's why we have traffic. Keep up at a certain point.
Right.
3 seconds behind the person in front of you, but
Right.
we
At
don't
least
need you to
2.
be like
Yeah.
this far back.
Right.
Because now you're gonna make me sit through 2 light cycles instead
Right.
of making this light.
Right.
So-
Right. And as soon as you hit the one on Ellsworth, as soon as you hit one red light, you can be
All of
guaranteed
them.
you're going to hit all
Yep.
of them.
Yep.
Yep. As soon as you hit that one right off of Empire right there, it's like great.
Yeah,
Now I've
the-
got Santan. Now I've got Cloud. Now I've got
Yeah.
Riggs. And yeah.
There's 2 things about the traffic. People tailgate all the time.
Okay,
There's a
I
lot
get
of people
that too.
weaving in and out of
Yeah,
traffic without
yeah.
signaling.
I would be sure they're natives.
I don't know. I was talking
Because we're
to a
used-
Uber driver who's a native, and he said, "No, these are the Californians."
That would make sense too. But also I say the natives only because we remember when the roads were clear and you didn't have to fight traffic.
Oh, so the natives are mad.
Yes.
Yes.
The natives are restless.
I remember when I go on the 60 and I could just fly through.
Right.
Now it's like, 45 miles an hour on the 60.
Yeah, like the last time the kid, before she moved out here, we dropped her off at the airport and we were home within 30 minutes.
No, 45 minutes
And that
from
does not
start
happen.
to finish.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking leaving the house that we used to
You're
live at.
going to the airport and coming
back
back in 45 minutes. Oh, wow.
2014. Yep.
It's double that now.
Mhm.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, easily. When there's,
We-
if not rush hour, it's 45
We
minutes.
did an episode in like downtown Phoenix right off the 51 6 months ago.
I do not
Took
like
us
the
an
51.
hour and a half to get out there.
And every
Mm.
time we get on the 51, we're almost hit.
Yeah.
I do not like the 51.
Wow.
17's my second least favorite freeway. I hate the 17.
Everything's subjective, everything's relative,
Oh,
and that sucks. But sorry.
speaking of the 17, have you been to the pie shop out on 17?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
In
Well,
uh,
that's when
Rock-
you actually start heading to Flagstaff.
yeah. Oh, you got to go out
You
there.
have to go out there.
You have to go out
Okay.
there.
There's a shop that it's all local stuff, local
love
honey, beef jerky. Like you can get like ostrich jerky. You can get like,
There's
buffalo and bison.
There's a restaurant out there, but they've gotten so well known for their pies that they have a separate pie shop now.
Mm.
And you can walk in there at any given time. There's 500 pies out there
Oh, wow.
at any given time.
That's really cool.
Man,
Yeah.
that's a lot of pie making.
Yeah.
You and the wife need to go with us to Flagstaff sometime.
Yeah.
We have the space. We can all four go up and be complete like it's two separate houses.
So
So
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
2 separate houses. Wow.
Well, I mean, there's
there's three. It's a
Okay,
3-bedroom
yeah.
house.
Okay.
So like the master where we would stay is on one side and
bedrooms on the other side.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So and separate bathrooms, all that stuff. So
Right.
we can
Very cool.
and it's free.
Free is a good price.
Yep.
That's
Which is
free.
Oh my God, yeah. I was just telling Justin, some of my coworkers just went to a conference in Las Vegas. The rooms were $31.70 a night at Flamingo.
At Flamingo. That's
Resort fees were $45.90 per night.
Mm.
And then tax, and then $80 for parking for 3 days.
Okay, so it's not cheap.
That's ridiculous.
That is.
The resort fees were more than the room fees.
That's crazy.
Yep. Well, it's like
I
when you
guess
get a
it's
concert
somehow-
ticket. It's $25 for the concert ticket, but it's $40 for the freaking fees, so you can print them at home.
Yeah.
Or
the
like when
convenience
Kiefer and I went
fee.
to Dream Theater, we didn't even get physical copy. I do not have a physical copy of that ticket, and I am still pissed about that
Oh,
because that was a big deal
yeah.
to me. Was that concert?
Yeah.
But do you go to concerts? Do you do anything like that out here, or have you done that? No.
No, just small stuff. Just free stuff.
Okay.
No,
Or at
hear
least
there's
cost of food and drinks.
Well, then
free.
we should all
Yeah.
go watch
yeah, right.
Dean Ice someday.
She doesn't have a drummer, and I'm sitting here. I could play any Fleetwood Mac song, and she doesn't have one.
They're a Fleetwood Mac cover.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
But as
Fleetwood
far as
Mac.
I know, they don't have a drummer, which makes no sense because the band is named after the drummer.
Mm.
Mick Fleetwood is
Oh, I
Fleetwood
didn't
Mac.
know that.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So makes no sense to me. I'm like, I
No,
can't
they
do
need
it.
a
I
drummer.
cannot do that. I'm right here. I'm ready to go.
So how
Put
do
me in,
they
coach.
What do they do? How do they do it? Do they have a drum track or something? How do you
I don't want to know.
Oh,
Because again, I'm sitting right here and I can play any of this
Right.
stuff. So I can play anything.
well, I know you can.
And then if they have a drum set there, you can.
Apparently I can write lyrics in an hour or
You
two.
can. Yes. Yeah, those were good.
So that was
You must have
That
had
was
some
fun.
inspiration.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, no, we know what it is.
Go ahead.
So we bought a local coffee and
Want
it's
more? Okay.
Roasters of Cave Creek. And we got an espresso blend and a medium blend, I think.
Yeah.
And we mixed them together and we've been making cold brew with it. Thursday and Friday, we had like 30-ounce glasses of these cold brews that we made here.
30 ounces. Wow.
Oh my God. I went to work. I was so hyper
Oh, I
focused.
bet.
No jitters,
No,
like-
no jitters.
But no
just
jitter.
Nothing.
Wow.
hyper
Just-
focus.
Yeah.
Um,
I had the same thing yesterday, and she brought it up. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense because, like,
Yeah, you were on fire.
all of a sudden,
yesterday,
I had 2 verses done in like 20 minutes, and the
Yeah.
bridge and the
I
third.
was shocked how quickly you put that together, and they're good lyrics. They're very good.
yeah, they were good.
Thank you.
They were
really?
good. I
Okay.
told you they were.
Well, I mean,
And
That's
the
it's-
singing sucked, but I told you not to judge, and you still did.
yeah.
You still managed to judge. Well, it's not in key. Jesus Christ, Mark. I told you it wasn't gonna. I'll show when we're done here. I'll show you exactly what I did too. And you're like,
Okay.
oh, okay. Actually, it sounds better than it should have been.
Yeah.
What you did. So
Okay.
And yesterday, I taught one of my coworkers in 2 hours how to do our financial statement at work in 2 hours with like complete clarity. And I'm like, I am so hyper focused right now.
So we're gonna be
Wow.
getting that coffee
Yeah.
some more.
So where is it again? What kind of coffee?
Roasters of Cave Creek.
Yeah.
Roasters of
ROC2.
ROC.
You have
Ever
to
go to
AJ's?
AJ's?
Cave Creek? Yeah. Well, not often, but I've been
Okay,
there.
they sell it there. That's where we found it. So we're like, well, we're getting
Where's
that
the
coffee.
closest AJ's?
Mesa.
Probably
off the
Mesa.
Mesa, okay. We've
Off
only ever
of
been
Bell
to
Vista and
Kinda small.
Baseline.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bell Vista and Baseline. There's one. There's a Barnes and Noble that's
What
really
is that,
cool
like
too.
half an hour, 40 minutes?
I mean, you're retired, so you leave at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, and you're gonna get there in 15 minutes.
I
so.
still, yeah, okay.
You've got the greatest
okay.
gig. You're out here retired,
I know.
so you can
And
leave
you
it.
know what I choose to do? I choose to drive 10 minutes to the olive mill. I've tried other places. There's a new place that just opened up. It's called Life's Better Buzzed. It's on Gansel by the Sprouts.
Okay.
Okay.
It's brand new. It just opened
Mhm.
up.
Do they have
The
local?
coffee was fine. I don't know if it's
Okay.
local.
There's
I
some
don't think
place that
so.
opened
Yeah,
up on
there's some.
Ocotillo.
Although tomorrow,
Also.
well, tomorrow we might have a new coffee place. So the guest we're gonna have tomorrow, she knows someone that makes local coffee, and she's gonna bring us some. So
Okay.
But you cannot beat the results of that Roasters of
oh
King
no,
Creek.
no,
No, that's something else,
that's
man.
gonna be my
Get the
songwriting.
focus without the jitters.
That's gonna be my songwriting coffee right there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey Doc, we need some lyrics. All right, let's go.
Yep.
I couldn't believe how quick I got that done.
Yeah.
Yeah, last night
And good.
we got to talking about. I'm like, have you been like hyper focused with this coffee? He's like, yeah, I have. I'm like, me too.
Huh. That is interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder where the beans come from. Maybe it's the roasting process.
Wow.
Locally roasted to me is always the best thing. Like when I don't know if the new one at that place I used to work at that I got fired from, if they still roasted in-house, but the Superstition did. Now, did you have the Superstition
Yeah.
when they were there?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
I don't
drank
wanna
their
put-
black coffee, but I don't drink the black coffee from infusion. I always have a latte, either hot or iced.
I was just going to ask, and I don't want to bury anyone because we've actually never had the other one, but
No, we have once.
did we?
We
Okay.
tried it once.
Superstition was just better, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know.
And I knew them personally, like the owners and the kids.
Right.
And
Sit down there and watch them roast.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's how I learned how it works. That's how I
If they've
learned.
got roasters there, I can't imagine they're not still roasting.
That's how I learned that, like, how the beans show up and how they end up is completely different.
They going green.
Right.
Yeah, and
I
they-
knew they were green.
And depending on how it's roasted is how they taste. And,
Right.
And they actually taught me too, because I remember like there was a whole news thing a few years ago where they're like, well, the lighter the bean, the stronger the coffee. And they're like, it's like 1% difference.
Okay.
Like, that's it. So
Right.
go off of how it tastes.
Right.
Go if you like a dark roast better than a light roast, it's not going to make a big difference.
It just
on the caffeine.
depends, man. Sometimes the dark roast is very smooth, but oftentimes is quite bitter.
I'm more of a medium roast fan.
And sometimes the medium is sour. I don't like the sour.
I haven't had a light roast that I didn't think tasted just like flavored water sometimes though too.
Mm.
It's like, so like, yeah, medium, but there's, like all of theirs were always great. And they also taught me like, that's what they're the ones that taught me, like, mix an espresso and a medium roast. Don't have full espresso because it'll be too bitter.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, so that's what we
And
did
that's what you did.
with my songwriting.
And you said you
concoction.
made cold brew. How did you do that?
We'll show you when we're done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All right.
Yeah, it's a process, but it's
I might do that when I get home.
Yeah.
You have to get the right equipment for it.
Oh no, you can do it
okay.
without equipment.
That's
You
true.
need some like cheesecloth and
Like a jar.
a jar or a pitcher.
Yeah.
Just a regular filter won't work.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else Arizona related you want to go over? I mean, we'll do this again with something else too. Maybe next time we'll have you pick a subject of here too,
Okay,
and we
yeah.
can do like what we did to start it off. So
Yeah, I think
it's
we're
always
good.
fun. Okay.
I think we're good for today.
Yeah.
We covered a lot.
Yes,
More than-
absolutely. Yeah, we're pretty far in too. So cool. Well, thank you, Mark, for doing this.
Yeah,
This is a
happy
lot
to
of
be
fun.
here.
Drumming up conversation.